like makes nipples.
Why? Is that a thing?
It's kind of hot.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be hot. Like, clearly this outfit was not screaming hot, but like, I have the bra for when I am gonna be hot one day.
People don't talk about inverted nipples enough.
Well,
I think you should shed light on it.
to be honest with you,
Do you have inverted nipples, Miles?
no, I unfortunately have.
Don't brag.
Oh, you have really pointy ones?
Huh?
Like, you wouldn't need the nipple bra.
I don't like my nipples.
You don't?
I used to be self-conscious about them.
Are they
Why?
pepperonis?
Let me see them.
They're like not like pepperonis, but they're not.
That's a normal
That's a
nipple.
completely normal nipple. The fuck? I was expecting like.
too.
I just showed
I
you
thought
my
we were gonna
nipple.
get something the size of this tray.
I don't. Why do? Okay, wait. All right. Why do y'all want to show y'all's nipples? We're recording, by the way.
Recording already?
Yeah.
Have you met the girls that like they're checking you out and like checking you out at a store and they just so happen to not be wearing a bra and you're like, I just wish I could be that effortless. That's why.
Honestly, I say, oh, she
Okay.
is
I'm sorry.
effortless.
You're like, she's effortlessly hot. No, it's because
No,
I've breastfed 2 babies, so my nipples are actually down here, like by my hips.
I know a guy.
No. I was saying that
So I want my boobs to look like perky 18-year-old Kinley boobs.
I got to get this off.
So push-up bra with simulated nipples makes it look like you don't know, like that's what my boobs just look like, but they don't.
You
They don't.
said you were self-conscious about your nipples. You should understand.
When
Yeah.
I was saying effortless, I meant like I feel like I
Naturally
wouldn't have to
effortless.
try.
Oh, to be able to see her nipples.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that
That's
a girl
why.
that shows her nipples is easy?
I wouldn't say she's easy by
I'm
any
just trying
means.
to fake having like
But like,
I'm just so
good
envious.
tatas. Yeah.
Mine like face south.
yeah. I'm uncomfortable.
I feel
Not.
like I'm kind of like.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome
Miles.
to the podcast. This is season 2,
Yeah.
episode 2.
Yeah, and this is our first guest of this second season.
I know.
This is
We're starting out with a banger.
this is Kelsey.
Allegedly.
Yes,
Kelsey
allegedly.
Morgan Fry to the internet. We've since learned that Kelsey Morgan Fry is not actually a real government person. You
Correct.
got married and didn't change your last name.
I got married and didn't change anything. Yes. Yes. I actually got married in a different country, so I hope
Is
it's
your marriage
filed
legal?
here. I think it is. I think I paid $50 from destinations.com to get my wedding to be filed in the United States of America, but we're going to find out when we finalize our divorce.
Yeah,
so-
do you know how easy your divorce would be if you were never actually married?
Yeah, I've been processing that for a minute. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I was in fact married for almost a decade.
Which is insane.
A whole 10 years.
I was a wife before I was a woman.
Nice.
Not yet.
Pull the mic closer to you, like twist that part. Yeah.
It's like, wait,
All
we don't wanna miss her.
I need is time.
How do y'all know each other?
Oh, this is a great
Honestly,
question.
I know why y'all know each other to be respectful as I can. Like y'all are like,
Oh, 2 peas
Twin
in a pod.
flames, they would
yeah,
say.
something like
Yeah.
that.
I'll tell you how we know each other. We know each other from high school,
Yes,
technically.
yes.
We had like mutual friends through high school, and then
Keep in mind, we were the era of, like, social media existed in high school for us. Like, we had Snapchat.
How old are you? Sorry.
Listen, 30. I am 30 years old. I'm a baby with a lot of babies.
How many babies you got?
3.
Oh, that's not a lot.
I'm 30.
that's so many babies.
So you went to an
Says
all-girl
the guy
school.
with 1 kid.
I got my period and got pregnant the year after Miles.
Wait, how old's your oldest?
She's almost 10.
So, okay. So you got your period for the first time when you were
I
20?
know. It's a whole thing. I wasn't vaccinated. My mom never took me to a well check. I'm pretty sure that had something to do with it.
You aren't vaccinated?
Have you seen the documentary about Natalia Grace? That's actually Kelsey. She
It was like unintentional neglect, but I'm doing great.
But you went to an all-girl school.
No, I
No.
actually didn't get to go to the privileged school. I just became friends with all of them because I was a strategist.
strategist.
Yes, I lived in the inner city. I actually bring people to the hood. That's where I am from. You would never guess that because I look so precious and so innocent. But I grew up in the Willow Lawn laundromat for a long time.
The photo that you posted recently of you and like your like first grade friends.
Yes. So Ivor Otieno, I don't know if you guys know him or not. This is so controversial. You might not want to post it. He was murdered a couple years back while having a severe mental health crisis. And he was my best friend growing up and saved my life on multiple occasions. And a system did him dirty. And he's local.
He got killed in jail, right?
He did not. He got
Or
killed.
Central State.
Yes, he was being transferred
Yeah.
to a psychiatric ward, and I think it was 6 or 8 police officers. His parents were the most wonderful people. His mother, I will never forget, came to our school all the time to teach us about African culture. They're phenomenal human beings. I love them to pieces, but they just got $8 million to probably
settlement.
never talk about this again.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all know each other from school.
We lived together.
Y'all lived together?
Hold on. So
Back up.
So we know each other from high school. We had mutual friends. Like I had friends from different high schools. You had friends from different high schools. That's very similar of us.
I went to like 12 schools.
Yeah, and I had.
Wait, hold on.
Friends
You were
from
best friends with a
Ron
girl,
Baldwin.
my ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, Jessie Harper.
Okay.
That's how we knew each other.
Wait.
We started Rocky.
Let's not name drop too
wrong.
much.
No, don't name drop that one for sure. She will sue me.
Yeah, maybe
Please.
we just bleep that one out. We're gonna back up. All right.
However, I've always been homeless, and Kinley,
High school. No, this is actually true.
this is true.
She was homeless.
I'm
I had
currently
graduated
homeless.
from high school. This was my first roommate out of high school. I was living with I don't think Liza would mind, our friend
No.
Liza.
Yes.
Um,
She still heals me to this day.
yes, we had this really sick, cool apartment on Boulevard. Again, we're like, 19 years old?
That
Nobody
same-
should let us live alone like that.
We are 10 years past that right now, and I just need you to know I am helping my stepdad right now, who lost his wife and his son. We will talk about it, but I am helping him, and he lived in the exact same unit as us on 317 North Boulevard, just so we're clear, in college.
Rep 317 North Boulevard, because that was an epic time.
We got evicted.
We did
It's
get
fine.
evicted. But anyway, Kelsey's homeless. I'm living with Liza, and we have this massive apartment. So Kelsey basically like moves in and lives with us.
And
however, I am in my straight edge period of my life. I've started a job, a very professional job. I won't name drop that either.
She's the
because
mother.
I'm the mother of this situation. I'm working night shift. I'm getting home at 7 a.m. Kelsey and Liza are adopting bunny rabbits and kittens and wallpapering and
No, I mean, like, the most unhinged of unhinged happened inside of that
it was
apartment.
so chaotic. And what did you spill? Jungle juice down
I
the
woke
stairs?
up one morning to a man, I couldn't tell you his name, giving me a Sour Patch gummy with acid on it, and I asked no questions and swallowed it, and I think I had work that day.
Like, that was where we were at.
Yes.
Okay? 19 years old, living together. So I was like, you get like this. It was not good. I was kind of mean.
Wait.
No, Kinley, looking in hindsight, Kinley was not mean. She was very cordial.
So y'all were beefing at one
I would
point.
come home at 7 a.m. and be like, get the fuck out of my apartment.
We were also still awake at 7 a.m. However, Kinley was also in around law enforcement.
I was
Still is.
I was beginning to date my now ex-husband who was in law enforcement. However, to be fair, he was like the chillest law enforcement ever.
Amen. Yes.
But anyway, that period of my life, Kelsey and Liza stayed friends. Y'all kept doing things. I moved out and got married to law enforcement.
Yeah. We threw jungle juice down the steps and got evicted after a Christmas party.
Yeah. We
Wait.
went slightly different roads.
Wait,
I moved to Manchester after that, and it all went downhill.
Did all
I gotta ask, and I
You
don't.
moved
and
with Liza to Manchester. I remember
Yes.
this now. Yeah.
I don't
can
mean
decide
to,
for everyone.
be rude or insensitive, whatever.
You're gonna have to not preface everything with that because
Have at it.
I-
Hurt my
okay,
feelings,
okay.
Miles.
I'm not gonna hurt your feelings, but why were you homeless?
Oh, well, so I don't know if I told you this or not, but I
No.
was living in a laundromat as a child.
Yeah.
I slept in several 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
I had so much family, but I was an only child.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was sick her whole life. My stepdad was tending to a baby who they had when I was 12 years old that was special needs, didn't walk, didn't talk. He was busy with figuring out life for himself. I was a teenager and rebellious, and I just kind of got forgotten about. And I'm fortunate that my parents recognized their inability in that season before I had to say goodbye to my mom, because she apologized for her behavior. I wish she was a healed mom, because I would have had such a different experience. But unfortunately, I was like a mirror to her, and she saw me with good luck and things happening that shouldn't happen for me, and she thought of it as a threat instead of as a blessing. So
the mother wound.
yes, that's essentially the gist of my life. Is like, I forgive my parents, but it was shitty, and everybody around me knew it was shitty, but there was nothing they could do to help. So at this point, I had left high school due to bullying at another school. Something about me that you're going to learn is I was raised by narcissists. So I am like the epitome of a people pleaser. I'm not going to hurt people's feelings. I'm not going to tolerate what people say that's negative. I'm probably, if they're bad to me, I typically help them. And I resent that about me at this point in my life. But back then, that's kind of how it was. And I felt like things just presented themselves to me at weird times where it only could have been a blessing. I shouldn't have been taking acid or drugs as a 19-year-old kid in downtown Richmond ever in my life. But when I was doing that, I had people that were like, hey, you have a place to stay. We have 2 twin beds. Let's push them together. You can stay here. She's going to help out. She's going to get groceries. She's going to do something.
She's going to take wrapping paper to the entire apartment and give us
a Christmas
fun.
magic.
Okay.
Where'd you go to high school at, Sarah?
Well, that's a great question. I went to Tuckahoe Middle School, which goes to Freeman High School. And so I knew everybody at Freeman, but I went to Godwin. And then I left Godwin and went to Monacan.
Okay.
And then I left Monacan and went and graduated from Glen Allen. But I graduated like 18 months early because I was bullied.
Didn't you go to Tucker too?
No.
What were you bullied for? Sorry, I'm learning.
Yeah, no, this one time, this is like the reason I left Richmond. But this one time I was a cheerleader, mainly because my dad wanted me to be a cheerleader. So when I became new at the first high school, Godwin.
Can I stop you for 2 seconds?
Yes,
when you
please.
refer to your dad, are we talking
So
bio
I
dad or
have
stepdad?
a stepdad and I have a dad. My stepdad is a wonderful human being and he has been in my life my entire life. My father was my birth father. My parents.
And we can get into that, but I just want to, like, when you say dad.
Yes, my stepdad is wonderful. My dad is not my dad. He is an imposter.
Father.
Yes, he's my father.
Okay, so who wanted you to be a cheerleader?
My dad.
Okay,
So
got it. I'm just specifying.
My dad, actually, when we were moving to the house that made me transfer to Godwin as my high school, so I was like the new girl in 9th grade. And my dad was like, cheerleading tryouts have already happened, but like she needs to try out. So they made like an exception and accepted me. And it was weird that they did that. That was really kind. I'm grateful for it. But that was all my dad. And my dad did not exist in Richmond until middle school when my mom got sick. So my dad moved into my mom and my stepdad's house when my brother was born and lived in my bed with me.
Why are you laughing?
Because, like, what?
Before that, that was like my stepdad and my mom bought a house and it was like the greatest thing ever because before that I was living on Monument Avenue in like an unfinished apartment. No, an unfinished attic, I'm sorry. And so I moved into this new house and I was like, oh my gosh, I've got a little brother. This is going to be so great. And then they were like, your dad that you don't know is actually going to move into your room.
So you're like, oh, cool. I'm finally getting like this kind of normal family feeling. This is great. Like I went from kind of a chaotic childhood with my mom. I'm going to get this family feel. And then your mom is like, psych.
Yes.
We're actually going to add your dad that you don't know. And not only is he moving into our house with
he's
this
here,
whole family, but he's going to sleep in your bed.
He's here for the first time to take care of you because your mom is dying.
Yeah.
Is what they're telling me.
Where was he living?
He was living in Florida. He was in the restaurant industry.
Gotcha.
That's okay. All right.
Now he drives the train. So if you ever hear it go by, just like, but we'll get into it. It's fine. So I went to Godwin. It was great. Loved Godwin, but I was a cheerleader. 9th grade, I actually had a guy try to kill me. I have like all the receipts still. He got sent to a psych ward for 4 years and then ended up going to college with me. I'm not going to say his name on here because if you're watching, I love you. However, that was my 9th grade year. My 10th grade year, I was still a cheerleader, and I got to school on Valentine's Day. And you know how you could like deliver roses for like $1?
Carnations.
Do you know this story, Kinley?
No.
Oh, you're going to die.
Oh.
I never went to high school after this day. Valentine's Day of 2011.
Valentine's Day 2011. It's my last day at high school.
I was wearing my cheerleading uniform for a pep rally against the rival high school. So it was Godwin versus Freeman, and we were about to fuck them up. I'll never forget. I got to my desk and Rip, again, Thormont was a special needs kid that went to Godwin and was wonderful. And he ended up killing himself a couple years ago. But he had left me a rose that said, thanks for cheering for football this year. And then I had 3 more roses from a girl that went to a different high school. And one of them said, didn't see a bald lady at the basketball game. Guess I couldn't introduce myself to your mom. One of them said, stupid must run in your family, just like your brother. And one said, leave. And I took them to the high school office. I had just gotten to school, grabbed them from my desk, was dressed for a pep rally, took them to the office, and I was like, I don't know who sent these, but they were on my desk this morning. I had never been rude to anybody except for people at another school that dated one of the guys I was interested in. There's like 3 girls that I was like, listen, you're hurting my feelings, don't fuck with me. But other than that, I was a very kind human being. And I had like to have receipts checked on that because I didn't trust myself. I was like, I thought I was really nice, but I don't think maybe I'm wrong. And then people were like, no, like you did it. You should have been mean. Anyways, took him to the high school office, and the lady was like, welcome to high school, honey. And then I took him to my guidance counselor who had a relationship with my dad because I tried getting killed the year before. And my guidance counselor was like, we can get your credits finished in summer school. You don't have to come back.
And you left.
So I left.
Do we know who sent you those carnations?
No, but I do know that there was a boy on the other team.
If you're out there.
I do know who sent them to me. Yes. Wait, sorry. I do. Her name is Kaylin Heartless. Her last name is what it is.
Oh my
Her-
God.
Miles is so pissed.
Yes.
Miles has to edit so much
Sorry.
already.
You can tag her if you want.
Bleep, bleep, bleep.
Yeah, her cousin. Never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
So another part of that story is that my sister actually went to the rival high school, and I didn't know I had a sister.
A half sister.
Yes. My mom had a baby, gave her up for adoption. It was a closed adoption in Tennessee. I knew that she had given up
I
a baby
remember this. I
for
remember this.
adoption. I convinced myself Miley Cyrus was my sister. I was like, I'm Miley Cyrus's sister. She was given up for adoption. She wasn't. None of that ever correlated. It was my brain doing funny things. However, my sister ended up going to my rival high school.
Wait.
And was friends with this girl.
Miles,
So
I could write a book, right?
no, I'm just hold on because I gotta.
do you want to recap?
No. So, all right, I'm not gonna do what you told me not. So, did your mom have
do it.
cancer?
Yes, so my mom was diagnosed in 2008 with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It ended up she had 15 types of cancer. She had non-Hodgkin's, Hodgkin's, T-cell. T-cells what ended up killing her. But she had a 15-year battle, and she should have died in 2008. So I am forever grateful for science and medicine.
The extra time that you got.
Yes, I had.
What year was that? Like, so it was recent. Sorry,
so
I'm not doing the math.
2008 is when she was diagnosed. I was in the 8th grade, and she
Yeah.
ended up dying in 2023. And the week that she was dying, my mom and I did a 5-minute interview with Good Morning America that aired.
Oh, cool.
Which was really, really special.
I don't know if you know, my wife's mom died, June 18th
No, I didn't know that.
this past year. So she had cancer, but she found out like 2 months before, and then literally just.
Super quick.
So, yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
How is she?
she's dead.
How is your wife?
Oh, how is Sam?
Oh, sorry.
handling that?
No, I mean she's she's doing the best she can. You know, I mean we had a baby. We had Grayson 6 days after.
No way,
Yeah.
Miles.
Yeah. So.
That makes me tremble and have like goosebumps.
Yeah.
Is that baby an angel?
If he's anything like me, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
golly.
Sorry, my mom calls me her angel. Anyways, I'm sorry to hear
He's
that.
plugging that this is our Mother's Day episode.
No, like I hate this.
Yeah.
My plot has always been like toxic positivity because my mom's always been sick, and I have used the internet as a diary. Like I was a OG Richmond MySpace whore, you know. Like I collected
MySpace, like Tumblr. Like I feel like you were the first person to have like a blog.
I like collected humans from like lived in Churchill preschool. It's one girl that I'm so close with now. I only know her from the internet because my mom remembered we were friends in preschool and she found her on Facebook.
You collected. What do you mean?
Collected humans from every corner of the internet if they served a purpose in my life. Like I feel like I can just like feel the energy, and I keep those people. You and I, like we don't talk often, but as
Like-
soon as we talk, we are on the same track because
Yeah.
they're the type of people that I keep.
I think that that's like the epitome of kind of like the high school thing. Like I'm like, we had friends from all different high schools. That's how she still is as an adult. Like, oh, I know this person from X, Y, and Z
Yes.
10 years ago. You're not the kind of person that's like, okay, like Kelsey and I are not like you, Miles. Like you have like a group of friends that are all like, y'all have all kind of been friends for a while, and you are friends from the same era of whatever. I feel like Kelsey and I have a group of friends where every single person that's in that group is from some random
We
part
have
of our
like
life.
flavors in corners.
Yeah.
Like I can walk downtown in Scott's Addition and I can tell you 14 different lives I've lived based on people that I run
Yes.
into.
Like if I go to the grocery store, I'll be like, oh my God, I saw 5 people, but like they weren't all from, like one's from high school, one's from
and let me tell you, I
rehab,
was so
one's from,
scared.
like-
Tyler didn't love, I was married. We are divorced. He's wonderful and cordial. It's great. We just like got pregnant at the first time we ever had sex and did life together. And we did it really, really well during really, really hard years. He's a great human. But wait, why did I get to Tyler? What was I about to say?
How you met people in your lives and different.
Tyler
times.
You're
didn't
gonna have to,
love Richmond,
So
right?
back up. So back up. Okay.
Okay.
You leave
Sorry.
317 North Boulevard, RIP.
Okay.
You move into Manchester. I go on my own responsible path
Miles is about to shit himself.
this way, and then what happens?
Okay, so we're
Because
living.
we need to know how you meet
So
Tyler.
I'm pretty sure got evicted from the next house
You
we
did.
lived into.
You did.
Yeah. And so we moved into a guy that I was dating's mom's house.
Yep.
And I got a puppy again. We got bunnies and puppies the first time, but we just decided to do it again. They
Bunnies
all,
and kittens.
all of
We
the,
got kittens.
all of these animals are still in our possession. The bunny, I don't know where it is. Its name's Dot, but I think Liza still knows where that thing is if it's not dead. Henry is still her dog. We had all these animals and they still exist. Gunner is down the road right now. That was the dog I got from a trailer park here when I was living in this man's house. Anyways, so we got evicted from the next place. Not sure why. Probably didn't pay rent. Then moved into this guy I'm dating. I mean, the guy I'm dating is the hometown hero for everybody. We all know him. Big round of applause. I ended up getting a Snapchat from him one time when I was at my father's house, the guy that we don't like. I was at his house because I was unwell. And my mom was asking me to find her cocaine for a wedding. And I just had some boundaries that I was putting in place. And, I was like, this probably isn't going to work out. So I was like frustrated with my mom. I was frustrated with my friends. It was a Saturday night. I was like, my dad is a Bible thumping pretender. I'm going to go to church with him tomorrow. So I went to my dad's apartment.
The one you don't like.
Correct.
You're going to church with him
Well,
tomorrow.
let me back up. I loved him until 2 years ago. He hung the moon for me. He moved into my parents' house and then manipulated me to believe he was wonderful. I should have listened to my mom. I was wrong. I found all the receipts when my mom died, unfortunately.
You got a lot of receipts.
All the
Tax
receipts.
season.
Yeah, for sure. I was married to an accountant, Miles.
Oh, nice.
I am well documented. Went to my dad's apartment. I woke up the next morning to go to church with my dad to a Snapchat of my boyfriend having sex with my best friend.
That he sent you.
I don't remember who it came from, but
I remember this.
one of them was filming it and sent it to me. I don't remember where I was living, but wherever it was where I was living. I think it was his house. I don't remember. Anyways, so I woke up to this Snapchat and I was like, my mom's asking for cocaine. My friends are shitty. I don't know where I live right now. And I just got this Snapchat. So I was a little sad girl, which is unlike me because toxic positivity. I've done it my whole life. So I was like, my grandma killed herself last year. She swallowed a bottle of Effexor. I'm going to swallow my bottle of Xanax right here. Swallowed it. Ended up going to Chippenham for a couple weeks. And ultimately, at the end of my psych ward stay, I looked at the people and said, I can't go home. What are my options? And they said, you can go to rehab. Insurance will cover it, but you're not an addict. And I said, okay, I'm in. So I went to rehab.
Whatever you say.
Gay Lax, Virginia, right after that. I never talked. I remember one of the women we used to nanny for called me in the psych ward and was the sweetest, kindest, gentlest human in the entire world. But I remember going to rehab and being like, people were getting letters and phone calls, and I was like, what? Where are people? And so at the end,
Especially because you were so popular. I feel like this is something I need to note. You were so popular.
I was well known.
You were okay. You were so well known in our high school early that 2010 to 2013 time frame.
MySpace whore. That's what I was.
And so I do think that there's something to be said about everybody knew you, but nobody knew you.
Yes, that is so. And I wear a mask, right?
Yeah.
So I can shapeshift myself to be who you need me to be.
So you're in rehab being I have all of these people around me, but where are all the people when I'm down bad?
And I think a normal situation, people would become the victim. I think back to that and I'm usually people would be like, oh my God, I'm so sad. These people aren't reaching out. So instead I am fueled by that. And I started hosting 8 a.m. yoga classes at rehab. And I started pouring into these people because I wasn't an addict, but I knew that they were. I was raised setting up AA meetings my whole life with my grandfather, all over Richmond. It was I either went to church on Monument Avenue or I went to some random ass community room to set up an AA meeting and make coffee. So I was built for this season of my life, right? I was pouring into strangers that were thank you for seeing good in me. This is the lowest I've ever felt. And I was like, this feels really fucking good.
And you feel good when you're needed.
Oh my God. And I was in there listening to these NA meetings and I was like, I did acid and mushrooms, but I've never seen heroin. I don't know what any of this is. I don't know what it means to be dependent. I've witnessed these people my whole life, but I don't feel these feelings. I watched so many people that kill themselves in rehab. And I left with a binder full of I still have it, the sweetest notes from these, old women, old men, young guys, young girls, just thank you for seeing who I am truly and not judging.
And that really tugged on your people pleaser.
Yes, for sure. I was like, this is my purpose.
Yeah.
Like I am here to pour into
I love
humans,
this.
and even if nobody's pouring into me. And so they were like, your insurance isn't going to cover anymore. Where are you going? And I was like, what are my options? Like, what can I do? And they were like, you can go to Wilmington, North Carolina. I don't know if you've ever been to Wrightsville Beach, but it's a really big sober living community. And if you pay $400, you can stay at this space. And I didn't know what they were talking about, but I was like, okay. So I called my dad.
Like a halfway house?
It was a halfway house. So I called my dad. I didn't know this at the time. Nobody I was like I loved rehab. I was like, if this is my life, I'm in forever. And I was in Gay Lakes, Virginia, like not a great rehab. Like probably don't recommend if you're sitting like a kid. I wouldn't. But like I'm from the hood, so like it was great. It was glorious. I don't even remember if we ate, but I was like, okay, I'm so down. So I called my dad. I was like, is there any way you can spot me $400? And can I take my car to North Carolina? And he was like, where are you going? And I was like, I think I'm going to move to the beach. And he was like, okay, I can give you first month's rent. And so I moved to this single wide down in Wilmington, North Carolina with no job, no friends, a car. I'm not sure it's registered, a car that my dad has bought from CarMax that I'm not even sure I'm supposed to have. And my mom comes down, and they have furniture there, they have food there, and I'm like, what is this place? I was like, they just have it set up for me, like, do I have rules? Like, what's going on? And I get down there with my mom, and they're like, you have to be in bed by this time, and you've got to have this and this and this. And I was like, I've been on the street since I was 12.
I was about to say, for somebody who, like, for Miles's question, it was like, how were you homeless at like 17 or whatever? For someone who didn't have a lot of supervision, and I do remember that from like high school and stuff, like you were always the kid who was like, oh, I don't have to be home. I don't have to. And we're all like, oh, our mom says we need to be home at midnight. And you're like, can I spend the night at your house?
Yeah.
So and for somebody who got to run around and do whatever they want, and also the negative that came with that, like parenting yourself.
Yes.
For someone to then be like, you need to be in bed, lights out by 8 p.m.
I think
and we're locking the door behind you. You're probably like, oh.
My biggest piece of parenting advice, like for anybody that is becoming a parent, my first piece is don't listen to people's advice. Second of all, my second piece of advice is if you are a parent and your children have friends, pay attention to the friends, because the parents that paid attention to me are still my biggest supporters. Like my friends' parents noticed far before my friends noticed. And I am so grateful for how intentionally some of those parents poured into me and still do pour into me today. So that is like your child might be friends with somebody that is a bad influence or seems rough, but like take notes, like figure out why, because they will change all of that to make you proud so that your child can hang out with them.
And I feel like I was always the bad influence friend too, and that brings a lot of shame as a kid. But
you felt shameful?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Like overflowing with shame. Not anymore. I don't have any shame, which is
Yeah.
probably also a problem. But yeah, when you're the kid that like parents are like, we're not gonna do a play date with that kid or like whatever, and you just like you internalize that, like awful.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, I also feel like I was the bad influence friend. But I did have friends whose parents were that way instead, and they were like, let's lean into this kid instead of keeping them away, and that was probably good for their kid too. I mean,
for sure.
That like.
And
I'm thinking about those kids. They turned out to be really wonderful adults. I hope that I can be that parent, like you're saying.
I have a really, really great friend that's still one of my best friends today, and her family will never, their whole family, the children of this family are now married. The kids of these people came to my mom's funeral. Like they are so flawed. They were just my friend's parents.
Yeah.
My mom did not have a relationship with them. They did not know my family. Like they literally just poured into me from afar, showed up for me every single time. And not long ago, one of the sisters messaged me, and she was like, you know, the friend that you were friends with would not be here if it wasn't for you. Like you were there at the lowest time in her life in 8th grade, and you supported her and stood by her, and like we will always do the same for you. I love that. And that's like me hearing that now. I'm like, I had purpose. Like my suffering was worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, you thought you were a burden, or I did. I felt like I was the burden. I was the kid that always needed whatever from like these friends' parents, or I felt like they didn't really want me there, and I always just kind of felt like whatever, I didn't really fit in. So to know that you helped them in your own way probably felt really good.
I always felt like an inconvenience. I was like,
I always felt like an inconvenience,
for sure. So yes, pour into those people.
Okay, we have 11 years to get through.
I know, sorry.
So,
okay, so let me fast forward. 10 of them are like really easy.
Okay.
I don't know about that. I ain't gonna lie
Shit
to
was
you.
good for Kelsey from 2013 until 2023. Anyway.
Well, 2020 really is when everything went downhill, but
okay, so you moved to the beach. You're living in a halfway house. You get this job at the gym.
Okay,
right?
so I'm...
Wait. I need to ask some
I
questions.
know.
No, yeah, you
Okay.
do.
Were you popping or doing? You said
Miles,
MySpace, all this
I-
You
stuff,
popping?
whatever.
Finger
Like,
popping your asshole.
Like, am I documenting this?
Yeah, like,
I am.
what's going on with
I have
that part?
documented my entire life in stories. I have never tried to grow because I have always just been. I am.
stories like Instagram and
I am
Snapchat.
the local girly, right? And I know if I share my things in a documented way that people can find them out with the audience that I have, it would go big. People would know. I don't want that. I want to be the little hometown hero that gets to help people. And I honed into that. Now I'm at
But
the
you
point.
are documenting it.
Well,
To
now-
answer Miles' question, you are documenting because I feel like you could tell a story and at any given moment you could find a photo from that story.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Why can I do that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yes,
Like if
she
you
was definitely
need,
documented. You had a blog.
if you need
at this time.
receipts, like I have receipts of every single stage
Yeah.
of my life.
She was documenting.
But I am so scared of the public because I've always been public,
Yeah.
right? So like I see why like celebrities are the way that they are because I'm like people are ruthless and these are just like people I've collected. Like this isn't the internet. This is just like people that
people that don't even know
kind
me
of
yet.
think they
yeah.
know me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, at this point I am documenting. Like I get out of rehab and I'm like, what's up bitches? I'm going to Wrightsville Beach. I'm going to a halfway house.
What platform was this on? I just need to know.
It had to have been Instagram.
It's probably
Okay, yeah,
Instagram.
because 2012 was Instagram.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I mean Snapchat, like
She's done
I
with
went
that.
viral on Pinterest for a second. Like that was like a thing.
Okay. You get a job at the gym.
Anyways, I move into this halfway house. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of this halfway house. Where am I? I have a curfew. I'm
are
not
not
even
keeping me in here at
I'm
9
not
p.m.
even sure if I'm allowed to use the refrigerator. And so I get on Craigslist, like maybe a week after I'm there. I get on Craigslist and I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna make this work. I find this girl and she's like, I've got this one bedroom. It's $500 a month. It's on this like waterfront timeshare townhouse. And I was like, I love her. Her name's Maxine. I'm moving in. So I message her.
Miles is about to rip you a new asshole for the number of names you have dropped
You
in
can
this
say her
episode.
name. I message her and I'm like, hello, I am a stranger on the internet as well, living in a halfway house. Do you think I could move in? She's like, yeah, girl, come on. So I move in. She goes to the gym and I had already applied to the gym at this point. And they call me and they're like, hey, do you want a marketing job? And I was like, yeah, but I applied for front desk. And they were like, we were just wondering if you would want to have a marketing job. You work at the beach. It's all old people down here. It's like old newlyweds and nearly deads. Like, come on. And I'm this like teeny bopper and I'm in a bikini and I'm like, yeah, I would love to. So I go and like get this job that's like kind of cool. And just so happens that Wilmington, North Carolina is the film industry. And so they call it Wilmywood. And the gym that I worked with was partnered with the hotel where all the celebrities stayed at. So that was the gym they used. So I would sign NDAs and hang out with celebrities all day long after I left rehab. And I would be like, look, guys, I'm with all the Blue Mountain State boys today. Or look, guys, I'm with all of the people from One Tree Hill. Like, I mean, I literally left rehab and didn't tell anybody about me being cheated on, showed up in Wilmington, North Carolina, and was
Like,
like,
started a new life.
look at me with these celebrities.
Yeah.
Like, I was trash last year and now I'm living on the water.
Yeah.
Like, and I had taken my dog from Richmond. And so the talk of the town was that I had stolen my boyfriend's dog and was living at the beach with celebrities. And I was. But that was my dog, not his. Anyways.
I also stole a dog.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
The similarities here are endless. But
So
anyway.
at the gym, mind you, I tried killing myself in August, and by April I was pregnant with a guy from the gym. So I got to live my life for like a minute, and then I was like, wait, everybody's about to doubt me because it's me. And I just got pregnant with this really wonderful human being.
You met Tyler through the gym. Sorry.
He works out at the gym. I thought he was married with kids. He was like the hot, cut off, bald man that came in, and I was like, he's got to be, I'm a child. I don't even have my period yet. He's got to be, I don't know. It was weird. And
But
then
you
our,
haven't had your period yet, right?
well, listen. So yeah, for sure. And our front, I was like, it's trauma. It's stuck. Our front desk girl was like, yo, he's so hot. And I was like, I agree. And I was dating this gay guy at the time. It's the whole thing. And he was a professional golfer. And I ended up breaking up with him and got Tinder. And my rule, like my boundary was don't talk to anybody from the gym. Like you can't. And then Tyler messaged me and was like, what are you doing on here? Don't you have a boyfriend? And I was like, I thought you were married with kids, my guy.
Like, what are you doing on here, Dill?
Flex for me. And after that, he's the shyest, like kindest, sweetest thing in the entire world. And he walked up to my desk and he was like, would you ever want to get a drink? And I was like, your boss asked me out last week. And then we got pregnant. So Then I got pregnant. Tyler's sister ended up being pregnant at the same time. He was like, this will be fine. We'll make it work. I was like,
Okay, but
I
pause for a
know.
second. No, it's not because of that. It's because questions about this.
Yes,
Because
please.
I think that there's a little bit of romanticizing that goes into, and like I've had unplanned pregnancies.
Yes.
There's a little bit of romanticizing that goes into unplanned pregnancies where you're like, okay, I'm going to tell this person that I'm pregnant and they're going to be like, oh, it's fine. Like, we're going to make this work. And like, you get married and run off in the sunset. And you did that.
So let me tell you what happened.
I want to know Tyler's reaction to finding out that you're pregnant, because
Okay.
it does sound like you got the fairy tale version of what most people don't. Where he was like, oh, this is okay, great. We've known each other for 30 minutes and we're going to have a kid and go build a house and have more kids. And like, that's not what happens for most people.
Mm-hmm. Miles,
So
I have the receipts for this as well because I
believe
logged it. So
Miles is about to get his cash register out. Anyway.
Okay, so I am, at this point, I'm launching a business in Wilmington because I'm an entrepreneurial girly, and I did it in Richmond, and it worked, and it was called 12 Girls Tuition, and I was hiring 12 girls that worked at the university to babysit. I was paying them $12 an hour and charging $15, and it was genius, and I was so excited, and I got pregnant on Tyler's birthday. He was turning 30 years old. No, he wasn't. He was turning 25. He was turning 25.
I was like,
sorry.
Tyler is not 40.
Tyler was
not.
Tyler. It was Tyler's 25th birthday. I can tell you what position I was in. All of his friends probably could too.
But it was you ended up having a girl, so anyway.
It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. She was my story. I would never change a single thing about it. But the way that like we got here, Tyler and I both like stepped back and we were like, wow, we did a great job. Okay.
Right, so you tell Tyler that you're pregnant.
No. I find out I'm pregnant because I'm driving down the road and Chipotle sounds bad to me. And I'm on the phone with my mom and she's like, go to CVS, you're pregnant. I take a test on FaceTime with my mom in CVS in Wrightsville Beach and I'm pregnant. Tyler has just left for a cruise for a week with his friends and he did not purchase. This is 10 years ago. So he didn't get the international phone plan. Like I was without service for a week. So I find out I'm pregnant. And if you've learned anything on this podcast, I don't keep my mouth shut. I am a oversharer by nature and like I need a solution yesterday. So I find out I'm pregnant and I'm like, well, I've always wanted to be a mom. I'm not going to get an abortion. I fully support them. However, I would like the baby.
I would like this baby.
And like in my gut, I was like, I was
cool.
made for this. Like
Which is true.
Yes. Like I was like, I'm not scared. I'm pregnant. Like he's a wonderful human. I'm living my dream life right now. You're made
20.
it. I need no support. I'm 20. I need no support from anybody right now. I have a job that's like making great money.
Yep.
I just don't know what the solution is, right?
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, are we here? Are we there? Am I going home? Is he going to hate me? Does he want the baby? What's he going to do? What's his family like? I know nothing. Mm-hmm. So for a week, I'm like in my head back and forth, like ping ponging. And I tell my mom, who calls my dad and says she's pregnant. Don't get mad. My dad calls my whole family. He's an accountant, everybody. Don't worry. He is an accountant. She's going to be fine. So in my head, I'm like, well, my dad says I'm going to be fine. So I'm going to prove to him that I can get the white picket fence because he thinks I'm going to fail. And then I got the white picket fence.
Yeah.
And Tyler came home a week later and texted me and said, hey, we're landing. Do you want to meet at this Mexican restaurant with all my friends? And I said, no, I would like you to come here. I've missed you. He showed up at my townhouse. My roommate ran to her room and he put his hand on my leg. And I looked at him and I said, I haven't shaved my legs all week and I'm pregnant. And he said, my sister's pregnant too. And I said,
wow, cool. We were all having
it's fine.
Sex.
I can go to my mom's. I can go to my mom's house. Like I'll just go back to Richmond. 4 hours. I'll go to Richmond. I'll stay with my mom. She's fine. She's excited. Like she's excited about it. Don't worry about it. And he was like, well, I'm interviewing for a job in Raleigh next week. And I was like, and he was like, I'm interviewing with my sister. And he was like, if you want to go to Raleigh, you can. And I was like, okay. So this is in April. We didn't tell anybody on his side of the family we were pregnant until July. So my whole family knows. The internet probably knows at this point because my whole family knows. And Tyler's family doesn't know.
Yeah.
So he calls them on 4th of July, tells them they were so wonderful, so great, but they were like, what the hell have you guys done? We moved into a 2-bedroom apartment, built our dream house on Tyler's state employee salary, and everybody was like, oh my God, they're so loaded. You guys, we were buying a $220,000 house and he was a 25-year-old man with like a real job for 5 years. It wasn't that crazy. I just like take pretty pictures. Moved into that house had some babies, played the part, stayed distracted, realized we were so freaking good at dividing and conquering. Like we were like, we don't really need to do life together. Let's just like tandemly do life, and then we'll just both meet in the middle.
In hindsight,
I did this in spite of my father.
I'm realizing that.
What,
Yes.
get married and have a kid?
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I made it pretty and the perfect Dr. Seuss fairy tale novel, not because it wasn't. Like, it very much so was cordial and wonderful. I just wasn't fulfilled the way
But
that I pretended.
Just like I asked, like, that unplanned pregnancy doesn't always work out that way, and so I think that you probably had a lot of people behind you being like, this is gonna fail, and you were like, no, it's not.
Yes.
No, it's
no,
not.
I literally
Watch this.
I did it and something else that people need to recognize is like I have never been in a season of not bringing in income. People are like, she's a stay-at-home mom. She gets everything she wants.
I know,
Yes,
we can get into the gold digger allegations in a minute.
and I provide.
Okay, in hindsight, do you think that you and Tyler were, had you not gotten pregnant, do you think that you would have ended up together?
I think he would have moved to Raleigh, and I think we would have always like stayed in communication. I think
But
Tyler
you would
and
have stayed in Wilmington and maybe like
Oh, I would
sought
have
out a different life.
never have gone to Raleigh.
Yeah.
In my life, like, and Tyler knows that. Like,
Yeah.
I was very much so like in my free bird. I didn't want to put a relationship tag on it. I didn't want to. I was pregnant when I went to Turks and Caicos and didn't
I
know
remember
it.
that.
Yeah.
There's like a yoga picture of you doing like a
Yeah,
I
with
can,
a
like, picture
six-pack.
it. Yeah, yes, that's the picture I'm thinking of. Anyway,
Yeah, and so I was pregnant when I was there, and I told my whole family, I was like, you know, like like it's about to get really good for me.
Yeah.
Like, things are about to get really exciting. Like, I don't want to date anybody. I like finally see my worth, my value. And I got home from that trip, and my mom was like, Chipotle sounds bad because you're pregnant. And I was like, fuck. And I was pregnant. I hadn't even had like a legal drink yet. I was pregnant when I turned 21, and I was like, who am I? Like, I was in rehab last year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was getting married before I
Yeah.
could have alcohol at my wedding. And I think that had a huge part in the demise of my marriage because I was like,
Yeah.
I have never known adult life.
You've always
without
also been
this.
the adult, right? Like,
Yeah.
you've always been the responsible, you've always taken care of the shit you need to take care of.
Yeah.
I've always been that for me. And I think when people become adults, like when their frontal lobes like fully develop and they're
Yeah.
like actually entitled humans,
Mine's still working on it, but yeah.
mine stopped, I paused. It's like lagging still.
Yeah.
But like the people that are like now becoming adults don't recognize that like we were adults when we were children. Like, we had to do that already. So now we're like free and they're threatened because they're
I tell people that all the time. I say I had my fun. People are like, you missed out on your college era by getting married so young. And I'm like, no, I had my fun college era going out, doing drugs, drinking when I was like 14.
a child.
Yeah. So I did do that. And then I got married. And then I spiraled and had Anyway.
So wait, y'all just be having sex with no condom on. That's y'all's verdict, right?
I don't know. Listen,
Y'all
Miles.
ever be wearing
Miles,
condoms?
I have had sex
Why
with like very few humans. Like one, I mean, I was a child. I had a purity ring because I didn't have a period. I like have very seldom had sex, and so don't judge this. But I don't know if I've ever seen a dick with a condom on it.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I hate that, but
Are
sorry.
you using condoms?
I mean, I did in the past.
Can I tell you something really funny? And I hope he doesn't get mad. But when I found out I was pregnant the first time, I went to the doctor and I found out that like my STD record was like clean, and I like joked about it. And I swear Tyler was like, thank God. So that's like a real thing.
That y'all be having sex
I
with
mean, like,
condoms.
I sit on porta potties. Like, I'm not always squatting. It's hard work. So there's a lot of things that could happen down there. Like, the condom is protecting things, but like, what's protecting the porta potty? Miles.
The porta potty is a metaphor for. No, just kidding. Anyway.
A glory hole.
Anyway. All right. So you run off. You do the white picket fence.
I did the white picket fence. And I want everybody to understand that, like, that white picket fence was, like, exactly what I needed in that season. I just grew up, and I was like, wait, I'm pretending.
Can we detour for a second?
Yeah, please, I'm begging.
Can we talk about LuLaRoe?
Yeah. I actually got a message from my dad about it this morning on
Wait,
his
what is
anonymous Reddit
LuLaRoe?
account. You back up. Don't talk shit about my Mormons. They have
people.
Well, so I didn't know LuLaRoe was corrupt until it was corrupt.
I got a lot of questions about.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what should I ask Kelsey on the podcast? They were like, please ask her what happened to LuLaRoe.
Oh my God. Well, first, we made bank. Second, turns out that something scammy happened. I heard there was a documentary. I didn't ever watch it.
Wait. I need to know what LuLaRoe
Okay,
is.
so LuLaRoe is a multi-level marketing situation.
Okay, so
You know
it's
what
like
MLMs
Amway
are.
is.
So like
Yes.
it's
Okay,
Amway,
all right,
but like
continue.
not Amway's clothes. So like essentially, I would buy a dress for $25, and I was required MSRP to sell it for $55. So I would buy a pair of leggings for $10 and sell them for $25, and I could not lower the prices.
But
And
you buy it in bulk.
yes, so people were cult followers of these patterned leggings, and I unfortunately I wore them for pictures so that I could sell them, but I didn't wear them out. And one of my neighbors walked past. I turned my whole garage into a boutique, like brand new construction, new Charleston style home. I was like, let's put floor in the garage. I'm
What was
opening a
homie
boutique.
thinking about that? I didn't even know that. Sorry.
No, he was in support. He was in support of everything I did.
That's
like
fine.
he didn't say no. I am like a
Hold your horses. I'm getting to that.
I just like
What?
go. I just like go, right? Like I do things, and then you just like can't say anything about it because I do it. So what are you gonna say?
But LuLaRoe, yeah, this like
So
clothing
you
MLM.
paid like $15,000. They send you like 12 boxes of clothes, and you're required to sell them, and then you're required to order a certain amount of clothes each month to keep going. The way that it's slimy is that you build a team underneath of you, and so these people are spending $12,000 not being able to move product, and then they're stuck.
Right.
So
You explain LuLaRoe. I'm gonna.
that's LuLaRoe, and I did it. And
So how do you think you got into LuLaRoe?
well, I was on social media at that point. I think I've like consistently stayed where I am. Like I remember I had like 3,500 followers, jumped to 10,000 when 10,000 was like the linking. You had to have 10,000 to link. And then I just like floated under 20 until now. Like I've just like chilled where I am. So these people have been here for like a minute.
What yeah, because you're at like 25 now, I think I saw, right?
Yeah, TikTok's like almost 200.
Yeah.
Just terrifying. But
187?
yeah, is it? Thank you, Miles. I'm grateful
I
for
just
you.
saw
Do you know
here.
my social too? Can you tell me if my dad's IP address is his location?
All right, well, look, I know Kinley's not here, but like, all right, I'm confused, honestly. Like,
oh, yes, I can't wait.
I mean, I get it, but like, I don't get it. Like,
Okay.
all right, because I don't know the ins and outs of like why. Like when it went, you said 2 years ago it went left with your dad. You were blinded till then. Like,
Okay, wait, the dad.
yeah, like what's going on? What's going on with your dad? Not, I know I saw the little post you did today or the other day about like him trolling you on Reddit.
Okay.
But like, what broke y'all's like thing? Because you said you saw him in a good light.
That's the hot topic right now, right? So my dad hung the moon for me. He came to Richmond, where I live, from being a long distance father. Like I knew him call collect, and that was it. When I was in middle school, at like the most vulnerable time in my life, my brother was nonverbal, didn't walk, didn't talk, and was 11 years younger than me. My mom was dying of cancer, and so my dad hung the moon. Like he got to come in after not being in my life my whole life and pretend like he was the ultimate dad. So he became the church guy. He became the person that picked me up to take me to Taco Bell after school. Like he got to be the fun parent while living inside of my mom and my stepdad's house.
Anybody can be a Disneyland dad.
And
Why
that,
y'all say pretend if he was doing it all?
well, where was he before that? My
don't know.
mom was providing for
You
him,
were
but
gonna
he's
tell me.
never one time paid for child support. That's crazy. Like you're moving
So why
into
they-
your...
what-
So for the
what
hard
happened?
12 years, he's in Florida doing restaurant industry, whatever. And then all of a sudden he gets to come in
Well-
the ninth inning and be like, let's go get toys and go to Taco
Something-
Bell. And as a single parent of someone whose
Did you hear my
co-parent is
armpit fart?
reemerging 2.5 years later, that's shitty.
But what happened with your parents then? Because
Okay.
like again, like there's you know just
Yes, you
I'm
need
hearing
context.
I'm hearing one thing, so I could be like, okay, well maybe
Yes.
respectfully.
Okay, so here's the real gist: is if my dad could take time to invest in the professional help that he tells me to seek out, he would be golden. Like he really is a kind-hearted human on the inside, and he wants to be like the socially liberal Christian guy that like does good things. Like we used to go hand out like homeless people meals in Monroe Park together. Now he's on Reddit talking about me helping the homeless like it's a horrible thing. He wants to be one person and he acts like the other person because he's unhealed. And my mom was the exact same way. And I didn't recognize that until my mom passed. Like I was like, wow, if she would have just taken time to like pour into herself, she wouldn't have been that way to me.
What was their falling out, your mom and your dad?
My mom was a bartender. My dad was a bartender. They were both unwell and addicts. And we lived in Fort Myers, Florida. And my mom had her tax return on the check and went to church. Went to work one night. My grandpa watched me my whole life. My grandpa lived with me in every state I lived in. He was like my person. He was my mom's dad.
Was the Stone one?
Yes. So my boys are both named after him.
Their names are Stone?
So my grandpa's last name is Stone. Do you know who Tuffy Stone is?
No.
He does barbecue in Richmond. He owns Q Barbecue. You ever heard of it? He's like a famous barbecue guy, but that's my uncle. But that's what my grandpa did. He like traveled around and did barbecue competitions with my uncle. But he also like saved my life on way too many occasions. But that's who I went to AA meetings with and to church with. Like he was my father figure. My stepdad would have been, but he was like working and a full-time parent to this special needs child, and it was just a lot for him. Like,
That's your brother, correct?
He's my half brother. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he was my brother. Yes.
Yeah.
Born in
Sorry.
Florida, restaurant industry. Your parents are addicts. Your mom comes back here.
Okay, so no, my mom comes back to the house one night, and the tax return is taken off of her refrigerator, and my dad's nowhere to be found. And my dad had gone to Kentucky. My grandpa lived with us down there at the time. My dad had gone to Kentucky and was staying with his parents, I suppose, and nobody would tell my mom where he was. And at some point, he manipulated the situation and convinced my mom to come to Kentucky. So we went there, and it got really out of hand. And my grandpa and my uncle came and got us, and we moved to Lynchburg, Virginia. We lived there until I was like 2 or 3, and then we moved to Richmond to live with my grandpa. And we've been here since.
Wait, I just want to like kind of like side conversation, just see how y'all feel about this. It's like, how do y'all feel about, parents being once a child, and it's like, sorry, Kinley, I have to say this.
Yeah.
It's just respectfully, I have to be respectful. I'm trying to be, I don't want to, because if you were to say something, whatever. Anyways.
Stay with your chest.
Like, it sounded like you said it yourself. Your parents were dysfunctional.
Yes.
Is that, sorry? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Anyways.
that's a great word.
Yeah, I think that word
but
works.
again, it's like, you can call your sister stupid, but, you can't,
Yeah.
I can't call your sister stupid.
I think you can
That's
call our
what I
parents dysfunctional.
Okay, well, I don't. Anyways, so
My therapist would call it childhood neglect, but yes.
Okay, well, how do y'all feel about like if parents are kid adults? Like, what if they were just doing their best? And it's like, where do you give a person their grace, if you will, to their not like for example, we talked about like, oh, your choice in men and all these different things.
We talk about this all the time, and I'm gonna answer it, and then I'm gonna let Kelsey answer it. I, through therapy, have answered this question. I give my parents a lot of grace, specifically my mom. We've had a very tumultuous relationship, especially since becoming a mom myself. I give my mom so much grace because I truly do think that she was just doing the best she could. A lot of her decisions were not great. A lot of her behaviors I don't agree with. But as a mom now, I'm like, I'm still just a person. I'm just a person who happened to have kids, and I'm just doing the freaking best that I can.
Condoms.
Just not wearing condoms and just popping out all these babies. And I'm just doing the best I can.
Yeah.
My mom was just doing the best she could. She was young. I'm a little bit older than she was. But anyway, the point being, I do give my parents a lot of grace. That does not excuse what they did. Okay? I can give her grace without it being an excuse for some of the ways she has handled things. And so I'm not going to answer for you, but you can be like, hey, I forgive the things that you did that affected my childhood, but it doesn't give you a pass because of the things that I endured.
Okay, so I wish that I could. There's a song by Sasha Alex Sloan. Highly recommend. It's called Older. It's all about how our parents are just like us.
Yeah.
Like they're not any.
There's people.
I'm a person too. I'm doing the same thing. That's exactly what that is. The difference is that I knew my dad's mistakes in my childhood a long time ago, and he hung the moon for me, right? So like I had forgiven him for the years prior. The week my mom was passing, my dad lived 30 minutes from my mom. My mom was in hospice for 9 days, and I've never shared this on the internet. It was the world's worst experience with hospice that you could ever fathom. Every single nurse told us, every single person confirmed it with us. It was the wildest and hardest 9 days of my entire life. And I was essentially just trying to kill my mom. How much morphine can you give her until what's it called when you choke on water?
Drowns?
Exfoliates.
Oh. Asphyxiates?
I don't know. She was gonna
Affiliate.
She was
Her affiliate
her
link.
affiliate
Linked
link
here.
was morphine.
Sorry.
That was being passed around my house by everybody except for my mom, which was a wild situation. But it was a shitty time. And my dad got upset with me. My dad is a full-blown narcissist, so I have people-pleased the situation for my whole life. And this time I just was at a point where I was like, I've gone through it. Like, I don't need to people-please it anymore. I would love to eat that baby right now. I was like, I would love to deal with this, but unfortunately I can't. And my dad got mad that I didn't go to lunch with him on his time off while my mom was dying. And then I never heard from him. And my mom had a funeral 2 months after she died because I was doing it all. And she had a lot of people. And we didn't have a funeral for my grandfather because it was COVID. And we didn't have a funeral for my brother because it was COVID. And we didn't have a funeral for anybody else because it was COVID. I don't know if you know, we've had 10 people die. I was gut-wrenched to host a funeral by myself. Mind you, I was here with my kids by myself for the funeral. My stepdad was nowhere to be found, and my dad came to the funeral.
Because your stepdad's grieving.
He is an addict,
Yeah.
like through and through.
He's grieving the loss of his wife and his son.
Yes, and they both died within a year's time. My brother passed from a virus. It was super traumatic in his care, and it was a disaster. My mom, I am a firm believer that she gave up her fight after my brother died. And my stepdad, like, he's always been, he was like a pilot at one point. He was in the military. He was in the army. He was an architectural engineer, a structural engineer. Like, he's a really, really educated human. He's from Ireland. He's like birthed from Ireland. He would like to go back to Ireland. But he lifted my brother for so long, and he got hooked on pain pills. And he had a bad back, and he couldn't have surgery because he was a caretaker. And when you're a caretaker, I know more than anybody else, you put yourself on a back burner, and he has been on that back burner for so long. And I never thought I would see the day. I thought I was just going to grieve another parent. I finally see the light for him where he is healing and has potential to have a whole nother life. And that is so fulfilling, while simultaneously watching my dad destroy himself.
So your dad made that week of your mom passing about him.
Well, so I didn't actually know at the time. I didn't realize how angry he was. He sent me a text message. And then at my mom's funeral, it was raining outside, and we were moving from the funeral to the celebration of life, and one of my kids went missing. And I didn't know where they went, and I was hosting a funeral by myself with hundreds and hundreds
Where's
of people.
Tyler?
I'm pretty sure I had told myself, I can handle it, I can do it. Just he might have been with Shep. I don't really know. Shepard's my youngest, and he was sick at the time. So I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. I have no idea, but I was there by myself. I remember I went to Dana's house, my best friend from high school, and she did my hair, and she did my daughter's hair, and then we went to a funeral, and then my daughter went missing in the midst of a funeral.
How old's your daughter? Sorry.
And she was
8 at this point?
7, yeah. And nobody knew where she went. My whole family was like, Riley's missing, Riley's missing. All these strangers are like, Riley's missing. Some random man was like, it's raining outside. We're standing in the rain after a funeral, going to another funeral. And somebody was like, I'm pretty sure she got into a blue truck. And I had not talked to my dad in 6 weeks. And that was my dad. And the last time I had seen him, he was drunk at my house at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday and drove himself back to Richmond. So I knew nothing other than my stepdad's missing because he's grieving. Don't know where he went. Not at a funeral. I'm here at the funeral with myself and maybe another kid. I might have had another kid with me. I don't remember. I don't even remember what the funeral looked like.
I think that's pretty normal.
Yeah. And then we got to the celebration of life, and I pretended like nothing ever happened when I found out where she was, and I never spoke to my dad again. Yeah. And he never spoke to me again, and essentially I was okay with it. He had told me, I've done everything I needed to do. My work is done, but you prioritized your mother's relationship over mine because I stayed in hospice. Well, it was hell. I mean, to the point,
do you think that this could have been something that you could have gotten past with your dad if it hadn't been
I could have gotten past it yesterday with my dad. I had my text messages to him are the kindest, nicest things in the entire world. And I have said, it feels so dirty to air dirty laundry publicly. And, my poor dad's family probably feels so ashamed because he is blood.
Yeah.
I feel so gut written for them specifically because I'm like, they know
Your dad's
he
family is
sucks.
the family in Kentucky.
Yes, and they are
we don't see them very
phenomenal.
much on social media.
No,
Why?
they are the most private humans you will ever meet.
Okay, they don't want to be a part of.
No, and I don't want to shame them. Like, I don't want to out them. I've always had so many followers. That's like a town of mine.
Yeah.
Like, I've always, like, their people know me. Like, I've never wanted to out them. But it got to a point where my aunt she had been my person. She was my person for so long. And my dad was manipulating her. She's her little sister. I mean, his little sister. Manipulating her so much that the manipulation I was recognizing, I was like, I can't do that. My kids were recognizing it. And I was
Sure.
like, I know her heart. And I know her heart is so good. And he is not taking care of her heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I have to do something about it. And so I just proved that he was the way he was, and he proved it without me having to do anything. So my screenshots and posting it online is essentially to let my mass family know, like, hello, I'm not crazy. Like,
Yeah.
he's making you think that I'm a psychopath and I need help, and I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm proud of myself, and I feel so sad for him,
Yeah.
but it's not my problem, not my circus.
So the distance between the Kentucky family is, like, do you still talk to them?
Yeah, I actually got a text from my cousin on the way in
So
here.
things are good between y'all. You just don't.
There has
put-
definitely been tension. Like, don't
Okay.
get me wrong. There was like a point where my dad went to visit them, and I was upset because I was like, why? I got a text message from my dad's family after, and I was like, you guys have to talk. It had been like a year, 18 months at this point, and I was like, you guys have to talk to him. Like, my kids don't have grandparents. Like,
Yeah.
he was a great grandparent.
Yeah.
I was like, he could like redeem himself. Like, please just tell him something. And I got a text from my family after my dad left. He was there for like a week. And they just sent a cricket emoji. And I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, nobody said your name. Nobody said a word. And I was like, you guys aren't even defending my name. Like, you're not even helping me out. Like, because you're scared of him. You're scared of
Yeah.
his behavior. Well, I'm going to put an end to it.
Yeah.
And I think we're at the point where everybody sees it now. But I felt like an asshole for a second. Like,
Yeah.
I had to be the bad guy to be understood. For sure. But I'm proud of myself for the way I handled it,
Yeah.
I think. My therapist is also a wonderful human being, just so we're clear.
And this was
Kind of
2
like,
years
are you in
ago, or
therapy?
just like recent?
So he stopped talking to me 2.5 years ago.
Sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. Stopped talking to me at the day of my mom. I mean, it was before my mom's funeral. It was the week before my mom's funeral. He left my house drunk, and I think he was ashamed, and he was embarrassed and never said anything after that. And then he made it my fault, and it was my fault I didn't speak to him after he drove home drunk. And my kids witnessed it, and my kids picked up on it before I ever had to explain it. And that was kind of where I was like, I'm going to be transparent with them.
That's where I draw the line too.
And that's where I was like, we're going to tell them divorce can be cordial, and like your parents can be great human beings and supportive of each other and root for each other and not whatever this is.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I draw the line with toxic family when it impacts my children.
Yes.
Or if I feel like it is going to impact my children.
Right.
I'm not gonna drag. Well, there's nothing to drag. My mom and I have a great relationship now, but we have had a tough conversation when I first had my son, where I was like, "You have acted certain ways towards me and my sister, and that's okay. I forgive you. You will never do that to my son."
Mm-hmm.
And she never has.
And let's
She
be
never has.
honest,
She never will. She's a fantastic grandmother.
as
but
a
I put a
parent,
boundary.
I feel like you can redeem yourself as a grandparent.
One-
Grandparents are.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot wait. I'm gonna be the
There's
best.
no responsibility with
fucking
being a grandparent.
I can't wait.
Yeah. You don't, and my mom will tell you that. She's like, I love being a grandparent. I play with him. We do Play-Doh. We make cookies. We do X, Y, and Z. But she doesn't have to take on the mental load of signing up for preschool, doctor's appointments.
Am
every
I
single
fucking
bedtime.
them?
Do we have an... fucking them up, not fucking them up. Yes. You don't have to worry about like the responsibility of the parenting part. You're just gonna be fun. So anyway, that was not to drag my mom because I just love her dearly.
No, my
She's a great
Kentucky
DJ.
family she is a great DJ. I love that.
She's a great DJ.
My Kentucky family is good.
Okay.
They're not the
Good. That
problem.
was the
My
question,
dad
too.
is like firstborn bull. Like, I don't know what happened, and he could be so great.
Yeah.
We just gotta like maybe like 70 is his like time to shine. I don't know.
If you're out there, we hope that you're doing well.
We hope you're healing.
Anonymous Reddit user 002.
Yo, I'm
Anyway.
so. It's his wife has one too. I found her too. I'm sorry.
All right, so now
That was a
we'll
lot.
tap into the divorce as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make you talk about like details and like specifics on that, but I
Yeah.
do want to get into something that you're doing is like kind of modern. You guys are sharing your home, and you leave for a week, and your your estranged husband stays in the house with the kids, and then you bounce back.
We have officially
permanently.
We have ended that era now, but it is called nesting in place.
Yes.
Tyler moved out last week, so
Okay.
the house is now mine, even on my weeks off. Before, what we were doing is we were just like, let's just leave the kids in place,
Which I do like that.
and inconvenience ourselves, right?
Sure, as you
So-
should. Your children didn't ask for this.
Yes. And like we were both babies when we started having kids. Like
Yep.
we both were like, so we started doing, our like goal originally was to do like a 2-2-5-5 schedule. So we were going to do like Monday, Tuesday, one parent, Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday, one parent, and then every other weekend with parent.
Yes. As somebody well-versed in
Yes.
custody court, that is one of the best custody
Yes.
arrangements, 2-2-5s.
And that was like our goal. And we started doing it. And Riley was like, I'm not having enough time with each of you. I would really, really appreciate like 1 week on, 1 week off.
Okay.
And we were like, what are we going to do without our kids for a week?
Yeah.
And then we did it, and we were like, holy shit, we needed to have a break from our kids. Like, we have been caretaking in and out of hospitals, in and out of other people's random houses. And we've moved 7 times in 10 years. Like, we have been in it, like the thick of it, while grieving everything under the sky. So that sense of stability, like from the get, was so wonderful. But basically, like last summer, Tyler and I started having these conversations of like, are we happy? We're like not doing life together. And like, he was very much so like,
Parallel relationship.
yes, he was like so in support of everything I was doing publicly and like for work, which was fun. Like I was flying to LA, and I was doing Good Morning America interviews with the Rams, and I was meeting the head coach of his NFL team. Like I was doing really cool things, but I was like, why am I doing it by myself?
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm doing all these things to like really impress you.
And everybody, that's another like very common question that I saw was like, what was Tyler's genuine feelings towards your influencership? We always saw him in the background, and we always saw him. I don't know Tyler. I think I've met him like twice.
He's a doll.
Quiet, like reserved, whatever.
Simple man.
But sometimes when he would pop up in videos or stories or whatever, he did look a little like he didn't want to be a part of this.
So let me tell you.
True?
Okay, no. Tyler was very. He didn't want to be in the like public eye, but he was very in support of what I did for a living.
Like he'll hold the camera, but he doesn't
You
want to
also
be
have to understand, like he met me when I was a blogger.
I know.
Like he met me as me. So like he didn't have like, it wasn't like I shifted into this like watch me. Like I was like very transparent, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but come on.
Yeah. Listen to my videos. Yeah.
Yeah. And the part that really, really like made me, what I've realized, Miles, is men don't leave, right? They consider it, like they think about it, but they don't do the leaving. Like the woman is the one that does the leaving.
I've been left quite a few times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, with children. With children.
Yeah, no, that's true. I've pushed, actually.
Or like they cheat first. That's why they leave.
Right.
Like if they are leaving, it's because of somebody else. That's the one, I've seen it as a pattern. I have not seen one man that leaves like out of the goodness of needing to be divorced.
You mean, yeah.
Oh, they'll deal with it.
They'll deal with it. They swallow it. They just accept it.
Or they find someone else that makes leaving
Emotionally
easier.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't think of an example where there's just like a man that's like, hey, look, like this is not going well for us. Let's separate.
And I think that's why everybody just assumes infidelity. They're like, Kelsey made this decision to leave. And which is so interesting to me. But I think ultimately I was so sick of hearing, well,
you can confirm there's no infidelity in this.
I can confirm there's no infidelity.
I'm sorry,
in this.
what's that mean? Sorry.
Nobody cheated on anybody.
I cannot confirm that there's not new people in the picture as of right now.
Sure.
But I can confirm nobody cheated on anybody.
Okay.
How do you know?
There was no intention, because Tyler's a wonderful human and I didn't cheat. Okay.
How do you know?
Now, I will tell you, so many of you are matching with him on Bumble, and I'm proud of you, and I'm grateful for you, and I'm rooting for you. However, if you fuck him or my kids, I will. No, I mean, like, you can fuck him, but, like, don't fuck him up. Why do I keep saying that?
You have to keep putting up after fuck because you have now referenced fucking your kids.
Yeah, that is insane.
You can, in fact, fuck Tyler Fry. That's not what I said. Don't hurt his feelings.
Don't hurt him and don't hurt your kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait. The other thing I was going to say is, the one thing that like made me like, okay, I got to go. Like I have to be the one that makes the decision. It's going to be hard. It's going to suck. And like, he's not going to understand for just a second, but then he's going to get it. I have all those text messages.
Was he sad?
He was so hurt that I had the plan laid out. Like, I was like, this is what I think we should do, and this is how we should do it. And he was like, I just wish you would have told me so you didn't, like, do all of this investigative work by yourself.
And was he like, how long have you been thinking about this?
Well, so
Was
no,
there some hurt
we
that came with
started
that?
having the conversation last summer, and then we just coexisted. Like, we just did life
parallel.
Yeah.
Did your kids ever have any like questions?
Wait.
Sorry.
People kept asking me, and I was like, I've got to go. I've got to leave. They would say, that looks so fun. You look like you're doing so great. But is Tyler happy? Do you think Tyler's actually happy? I hope so. God forbid he's not actually happy. But then I started looking, and I was like, he looks gosh darn miserable. I know. I see it. You don't have
Tyler
to tell
did
me.
not look happy.
This was the fall of last year.
Did he ever look happy?
Like, I was.
Yes. I think that there were moments, and I'm talking more like
I started
the first White House that you had, the small White House with the
Charleston stuff.
LuLaRoe era. Tyler looked
when we were making
seemingly happy.
$60,000 a year, and I was Betty Homemaker. We were both happy. I think it was when our kids grew up and didn't need me near as much, where we were having to like do life together again. We were like, what do we talk about? I have not gone on a date with that man. I have not had a one-on-one dinner with that man. I have not. I lived in a hotel. I lived in a hospital for 120 days. Like, we have gone through it.
Yeah.
And we just like didn't need to pour into us because we were pouring into everything else. I think if we would have nourished our relationship better, there would have been less like animosity and resentment.
You had 3 kids back to back to
What
back.
was the resentment though?
One of them having medical complexity.
Like, 2 of my children almost died.
Yeah.
Yes.
Surgeries, hospital stays.
Yes.
Did Shep have a liver transplant?
No.
Was that a thing?
I healed his liver naturally, and Duke wants to down my plane. So that's where I'm at.
So you've had a lot of stress on a relationship that had no foundation to begin with because you got pregnant within...
Yes, my make-believe
11
delusion
seconds.
was just like both of us were like, oh yeah, we can do this.
Yeah.
But I have been like, giddy up, get ready, saddle up. This is the next season since I was 6 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And this was kind of just that. Like, I was like, Tyler, we got this. Jump on my back. Come on, I got the team.
When the dust settled a little bit in your life.
Okay, so
a
no,
little
actually,
bit.
all of this, I don't know if anybody remembers. We went to London, and then I went to New York last year, and they were within a week's time. And when I went to London, I saw Taylor Swift front row, and I left that concert, and I was like, this is it. I gotta go. Like, I have to.
So
What
funny.
song
You're the
made you think
second.
that?
You're the second person I know that has actually ended up in divorce after going to the Taylor Swift concert.
I was in another country, and I was like, I'm leaving my husband now. And then I felt liberated. I was like, he's going to be so happy. Like, he's going to find peace. He's going to find like,
and I hope he does.
excitement. He's going to find like adventure. But like, I was like going to
Plot twist. I'm going to marry Tyler.
I was seriously, I'm like begging anybody, please. I'll watch the kids for you.
I mean, he does seem like a really great guy. And it
He's
just like
so
both of
great.
you deserve to have, anyway.
Yeah,
I
so
think
why would you
that-
marry
That was a
him?
tangent.
I think that's the hardest part is like, my life is very messy.
You think I'm such a piece of shit?
I'm like so down.
You said he deserved well.
Can I tell you that like a week after we had like just separated like initially, and I texted him and I was like, if you do end up with somebody, like, this is the person I think you should end up with. And he was like, oh, why do you think her? And I was like, I love us. Like, we were made for this. This is like the perfect situation. He's going to do great. He's like already crushing it. The kids are pumped. Like, they are so proud of him. I saw like a countdown last time I was there that Riley had like written him a letter every single day she was away from it. Like, he's going to do phenomenally well and conquer all the things.
Are you talking about as a single dad?
Yes. Like, he's going to enter this era of like being able to do things that people are like, oh, damn, he's happy.
Is
Anyway,
he hurt? Is he mad at you?
I'm sure
Let's
he
be
was
real.
hurt. I don't think he's mad at me. No, I talk to him every day. I mean, he's a
You
great
have to.
guy.
You have 3 kids together.
I want to squash. There is no potential we will ever end up again together.
Okay, y'all are not getting back together.
No, like everybody's like, y'all are gonna be the people that like get divorced and get back together. I promise it's not that plot.
All right, but anyway, back up. Sharing a house with someone that you're no longer with is
Yeah.
very difficult, and I have like some logistical questions because, like, okay,
Sure.
y'all are not having any romantic partners at this common space.
So-
but was it hard, like, knowing that?
No, I would like make the bed for them.
Okay, that's just insane.
I think that that's where my like level of detachment, I was like, what are you doing still? Like I had detached so long ago because I was like, he deserves happiness.
Sure.
And like
there's something to be said about women checking out of their relationship.
Well, I think there's something to be said about like, I want the
making that
best for
decision.
him.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, truly in my heart of hearts, he is the simplest human being. I am the most complicated creature, and he would just like, our friends would be like, Tyler Fry has the strongest neck on the planet, because he would just sit there and nod his head and never tell me no. And it got to a point where I was like, I'm a narcissist. Like, I'm just taking advantage of it at this point. I'm like, well, hey, your best football team you're obsessed with since you were 8 years old is the Falcons. Raheem Morris is going to become my best friend. And then I would like go hang out with the Falcons and not Tyler.
So happy on that. Yeah.
Like, Tyler didn't want to go.
Yeah.
And I would be like, what are you doing? He'd be like, well, we don't have grandparents. Like, I need somebody to stay with the kids, or I don't want to pay for a babysitter.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, it's not worth the investment in our relationship.
So he was kind of a level-headed.
He was like, we were just two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Sure.
He would like bring a jar of peanut butter to work and eat that for his lunch and never spend $1. I was like the spender of our family. I like made sure that like we had groceries and that our kids had clothes and that they brushed their teeth before school. Like I was very much so like the strict mom.
Yeah.
And he was very much so like the let's just roll to tomorrow, and I've made sure everything financially is taken care of.
But you were making your own money.
No, hell yeah. I was making
Did he resent your career though? Is that
you
what you're
know,
saying?
I wonder if looking back, I think he will resent my career as he's sitting in an office for 40 hours a week and I'm
No, he's a simple man.
going to a music festival with my top off. Like
He
I
wouldn't want to go to a music festival.
Yeah,
no,
he's a simple man.
No, and I think also
But
like
you do have a lot of freedom with your career that he does not have.
you guys also have to recognize that like when you're posting your life on the internet and you are running around with your top off and you're married like at a music festival, which is the life I've lived my whole life. Like I've always been the person that's just like free and go with the I'm like the naked mom. Like I don't see color. I don't see weight. Like I don't see any of it. I just like exist. Like we are energy that walks around, and I think that's really cool. So I like don't think anything of it. I just like I'm like, okay, I feel good. But I have always given Tyler praise and credit so that people understand the love and respect I have for him. But like he knows who I am without the praise and the credit, right? So like me running around being me, he loved that about me. Like he knew that was me from the get-go.
He didn't really want to partake in it.
Yes.
And that puts a huge divide in your marriage when you're doing 98% of your life.
And the shift in the influencer world right now.
Right.
Like now it's, you got to make 3 reels a day. Like you've got to have content.
Girl.
You've got to get it out there.
I'm like
or you're not making a dime.
I'm making reels of just like, I'll just like take a video of this
it's the
ottoman
dumbest
because I just
thing.
need to put something physically out there to get my bonus.
And people are like, well, just get off of the internet. This isn't good for you. Hello, I feed my family because you're watching.
Yeah.
Like
I say that all the time. The troll, when we got trolled on the internet, like I love them.
Yes. Like big shouts to my dad because my engagement's never been higher. Like you are feeding my family right now.
Sorry,
I'm so grateful.
Tangent though. Anyway, so you're making your own money.
Mm-hmm. I've always made my own money. I have always been such an oxymoron. My family growing up had private jets. So like I was the kid that slept in a 7-Eleven the night before.
The Kentucky side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like my dad's family.
Not the side that you like actually.
Yes. So like I feel like I would showcase this like beautiful picket fence growing up too, but like I wasn't showcasing me sleeping in an unfinished attic or me sleeping in a 7-Eleven or
you
like
would go on these trips to Kentucky and it would be this castle.
that
of
was
a
my
house.
content.
Yes.
And then I would come home and I would edit the content from the floor with no shoes on of a strip mall that my mom managed.
Yeah.
And or like wait outside of an ABC store by myself. Like it was not cute at home.
You're actually
And
born to be a content creator.
so many of these people are like, oh my God, but she grew up with private jets. Yes, I sure did. I was an oxymoron by nature and it's so crazy to me. But I got to see perspective from so many sides, and I think that's so cool. Like as a parent even, like I'm like, we really can't judge people. Like we have no idea where they've been. I look like the sweetest little white girl, and I tell you right now, I could tear some shit up, promise.
Oh, listen, I saw you during the Xanax days.
I've never gotten into a fight though, just so we're clear.
Okay, but anyway, so I mean, from the outside looking in, and from Miles's guy perspective,
Yeah,
there
let me
probably
hear.
is a huge contention from how much your like influencership took off
For
that
sure.
affected your life, because you did have an era where you were Betty homemaker with the kids, and he was, you know, going to his 9 to 5, and like that was good, and then things really did take off for you in the last few years as far as Instagram.
Yeah, it's like very public.
Yes, and very public, and maybe that just wasn't what he wanted for himself.
I don't
He
know.
became a little unhappy. You went one way, he went the other, and now
I think ultimately, like, it was just one of those things where we were like, what do we want? And like, you want one thing and I want the other. I was like, I don't even know where you want to go or like who you want to be.
Yeah.
And he was like, I just want to make it to retirement. And I was like, oh, like everybody's died in my life. Like,
I don't want to just live to work and then die.
Like, I want to get to bedtime tonight and be like, today was so sick.
Yeah.
And we just weren't the same in that way. And his sister looked at me on Thanksgiving this year and said, well, I don't know if I should say that. Basically, that her parents were arguing when they were growing up and how her dad never had like big goals, dreams, or ambitions, and how I shouldn't anticipate having that from Tyler. And I stood there and I was like, everything Tyler wants is like a dream for somebody. Like somebody would swoon over this life.
A very stable,
not
comfortable
Kelsey
life. And that is very appealing, especially to someone that comes from such chaos.
Yes.
But then when you like found
I was like, I want to do all these things, but I'm scared of the judgment of the person that like I love.
Sure.
Like, I don't think he's going to support me wanting to go to a music festival with my friend, or wanting me to fly to London for a divorce with a friend, or wanting me to like, I was doing all of these things that I didn't get to experience.
Yeah. Okay, let's shoot down a couple of things.
I can't wait.
Okay. Do you think that your divorce has been influenced by your friend getting divorced and her wanting, like, showing a fun, like, single life?
This will be a good one. I think that my divorce has been a mirror into that divorce.
Okay. For context, Miles, she has a very good friend who also is experiencing divorce or is already divorced, whatever.
She walked through a divorce 2 years
So
ago.
there are some rumors on the internet that like, oh, her friend made it look so fun. So now Kelsey's leaving her husband to enjoy like
Well,
single
you've
life.
been posting all the reels with?
Well, no, that was Gianna, but there's, you can say her name. There's that friend that we're talking about right now is Dylan. Dylan got divorced a couple years ago. I walked through it with her. It was a situation. And she deserved to get divorced. I think at this point, what I'm recognizing is that when you are doing something somebody else is triggered by and you're walking the same walk.
Oh, Kelsey, a lot of people are triggered by everything that you do.
It is so triggering when you do it differently or less unhinged. And it's a mirror, right? Like, I'm holding it up to a situation that she went through that's different.
Right.
She commented on, she is my best friend. I love her to pieces. She commented on the Reddit.
And you guys are not hooking up. That's also another rumor.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure her ex-husband started a rumor that
you guys are lesbians
we had
together.
an OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
I was so, like, little vanilla me was like, I love it here. I would love this plot. Unfortunately, I never got that plot, so
you're not hooking up with Dylan.
I wasn't hooking up with Dylan. If I could gaslight myself into a vagina, I really would, but I don't even like my own. So that's where I'm at. I very much am strictly dickly. Can you see my hickeys?
Do I gotta cut that out?
Here's the other rumor. Are you hooking up with your homeless friend Charlie Brown?
That's a good one too, man. No, but you want to know something so really, really stinking cool is last night I was sitting outside with Charlie Brown and I get a direct message from somebody on Instagram that lives in Wake Forest, which is where I live in North Carolina. And we're going to hopefully make a whole post about it, but there is somebody that is going to get him teeth. Which is really, really cool for us. We're going to transform his life.
Okay.
And
Are you exploiting Charlie Brown?
maybe. He's begging me to. We created these t-shirts like months ago and he was like, please just let people know who I am and sell the t-shirts so that I can find a home. So like our goal right now is to launch these t-shirts for the homeless in Richmond. In order to be able to pay cash for Charlie Brown to live somewhere for the next 12 to 18 months. That's like our next step. But honestly, currently, Sydney, he lives in his car.
Why is there no resource for that? Anyway.
I have learned so many things. First of all, like, all these people that are like homeless people have their cell phone on the side of the road. Okay, do you know how many track phones are beneficial for a homeless man?
Well, yeah.
What do you need from the store, Charlie Brown? Can you just get me a phone card? Hey, can you grab me a new phone? Hey,
Also,
can you give me a phone? They are
why shouldn't
stolen
someone
every
deserve
single day. Do you know how many times we use our phone? You need to go find the resources because you're homeless.
Yeah.
How are you going to find the resources,
Yeah.
Kenley? You're going to Google it.
I'm literally going to pull up my phone.
The library doesn't have a free computer you can use anymore, so where are they going to
If
Google
you
it?
ask me to find a resource right now, I'm pulling out my iPad.
You have no idea how much my mind has been open. Like, yes, Sick Kids is my nonprofit. Like, that's what I own. That's what I do. That's what I will always pour into. But like, the homeless has always been huge to me. And in a season where I myself am homeless, I won't always be. I will have the resources to not be homeless. But like, I so value the fact that this man is living in his car and pouring into other people on a day-to-day basis just to make it to tomorrow.
I mean, he
and
seems like the sweetest person literally ever.
When we get him these teeth, if you could hear his intelligence, I've met his whole family. I watched him open his briefcase of things when I first met him to show me a picture of his mother, and he hugged the picture and cried because she passed. Like, this man is the gentlest, kindest, sweetest. He needs his freaking hernia repaired. Other than that, he's a doll. But he's keeping us safe right now, so like, I probably won't buy him a place until I can.
But you're not hooking up with him.
I wish. No, I'm like so down to. I mean, like, no.
Anyway,
he would be so flattered though. No, he thinks he like
you're down to hook up with him. Is
No,
what you're
he's
a lot
about
of people think you're.
He's looked at me from the very beginning, and he's like, "I'm going to show you what a real dad's like," and that feels really good.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was like, "I brought Charlie Brown to the hood," and he was like, "No, she took me out," and like, that is like, we're changing somebody's life, and we're just being kind.
Miles and I talked about this on our last episode, having children on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Like posting our kids on social media.
Yeah.
You obviously post your kids on social media.
I do.
Is there any
Regret? Yes.
Okay, yeah. Is there any regret? Has there
For
been
sure.
any discrepancy in that with you and Tyler?
Yeah. So
Are you going
here's
to like maybe take a step back from it as your kids get a little bit older? Like, what are your thoughts on having your kids on social media, and do you feel like you're exploiting them?
yes and no. I do actually. No, like, I really have like big feelings about this. My kids are such a unique situation because I've been on the internet myself since I was a child. I had them when I was essentially like a child. And I shared potty training. I shared so many things about Riley that I wish I never shared because that was my niche. Like, my
Potty
niche
training is wild.
was parenting.
I get very aggressively upset about people that share potty training with their children.
Like, why? I mean, like, she has like pictures sitting on the toilet with like princess crowns and a book, and I'm like, oh, so cute. And I'm like, she's sitting on the toilet, Kelsey.
yeah.
My kids have grown up in this really unique situation where like we own a local nonprofit. Our following is mainly local, like either Raleigh and Richmond.
People know her.
And like, our kids think that they have a famous mom. Like, they think that their mom is somebody because you can't go to the grocery store or to Target or to Walmart without somebody asking about our lives or asking about who they are. Or, hey, Riley, I know you don't know who I am, but I follow you. And
There's a scary aspect to that.
it's like they very genuinely like being at home because it's safe.
Yeah.
And I wish that I could have like ensured this safety in a spot. Like, I think that's why I like to travel with them so much. I've been on a plane with my kids like 10, 15 times. I've been on a plane with Tyler twice. Like, I've taken them a million different places because if I'm not local, it's not as common.
Yeah.
And so I do regret a lot of what I've shared. I'm at the season now where all my kids can speak. Shepard's going to kindergarten next year. It's kind of crazy. And I ask them, but I'm also like I film everything. So like, they don't know what gets posted and what doesn't get posted, but I'm extremely intentional about what I share. And so typically before I share something publicly, I will ask Riley. River doesn't like to be shared. Like, if the camera's on, he really, I mean,
What?
yeah.
Wait, so
that's noticeable. I
Riley
don't see
would
River
like
very
to
much.
be a TikToker, unfortunately, and I hate every second of it. She tells people she wants to be an influencer when she grows up. Like,
you regret it because they don't feel comfortable being out because of the attention they get,
I wish that they weren't publicly recognized. Yeah.
and because they feel a way about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one day, like, you know, Riley's going to be a teenage girl and she's going to search her hashtag of her name and she's going to be able to see everything that was ever posted of her. And I want her to have that ability. But like, that's not my story to share. That's somebody else's life.
Sure. And
have you ever gone home and like gone through your childhood photos and imagine them all being online?
I mean, I'm kind of boring. So
yeah, Miles doesn't count. Childhood photos, cool.
Okay.
Teenage years,
Yeah.
if you would put that on the internet, oh my God.
Yeah. Or like y'all
Well, I'd
mom
be in
groups,
jail,
like the
but-
messages, like my daughter was doing this today. Okay. You're like publicly posting that in a forum.
Sure.
Like, please be careful.
Okay, for what it's worth, and this is not.
Yeah. You can't hurt my feelings.
Okay.
Kelly.
Do you feel like there's a little bit to be said about how much you're sharing right now through this season of your life that your children can see later.
Yes. I think everything I've posted has been like extremely intentional for them.
Sure.
I want them to know how we handle it. From the very get, we have been honest with what's going on. The day that we both started switching, we told the kids, they asked us, did y'all break up?
Yeah.
And we said yes.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to do. And this is how it's going to look. And then Riley called me and she was like, hey, my cousins FaceTimed me today and told me not to tell you, but they told me everything that's gone on. And, you know, I know that you're public on Instagram. I know that people are concerned about your safety. And that's kind of when I was like, you know, my almost 10-year-old is recognizing that people are concerned about me being safe. And her concern most is she wants to know that somebody is there for me, because she's like, when you're gone,
She's not there.
well, she has Tyler's whole family is with her, but when I'm gone, when it's just me and the kids, like I don't have family there. And so she sees me alone. And I think me sharing what I've shared is to give her perspective, because all of us, Tyler included, we wanted these people that have felt so intentional in our lives for so long. Like these people, we have shared so much that these people do truly think, like, parasocially they are friends with us.
Right.
And it's weird. I'll meet people and they will like think I know them, and I'm like, you've watched me, like I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
That is
That's the
parasocial
worst.
behavior.
That
Like,
is
that's not
parasocial.
okay.
I don't feel like I can
What
relate
is
to
that
the
called?
parasocial behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I can relate to the level that you are, but I do feel like, especially growing up here in Richmond and now having social media through Richmond, people will be like, oh yeah, like they'll say things about my kids. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know you. You think that you know me.
Yes.
Please keep
It's
in mind
a-
we are not friends.
It's a wild experience, like just like subconsciously trying to think about like what this does to my kids.
Sure.
I have no regrets in where I am right now and what I've done
Good.
with sharing them, because it's led to opportunities we would never have had.
Yep.
Like we have done the coolest freaking things because of social media.
And like you said, I mean,
I can move into an RV with no job, and that's the next season, and travel in a tour bus for as long as I want to because of social media.
Where's the intentional at? When did it switch to be intentional with what you're posting for your kids?
Probably when they could like communicate with me, right? Like I think Riley was like having real she's the oldest. She was having like real conversations with me about how she felt about social media, and like her brothers were still like hilarious and in diapers and couldn't talk, and I was still filming them, but like I was respecting her. And I think that was like the communication shift was big.
and it might just keep shifting.
Yeah, for sure.
And I want to go back a little bit. How did your kids initially feel when you told them that you and your ex were splitting up?
Riley is a big proponent. The boys really are too young. Like they just
Yeah.
kind of rolled with it. They weren't really affected. Riley is like the oldest of old souls, and I hate that I have that for her, because I swore I would never have to have a kid that's been through shit, and she has been through so much shit, and she is wise beyond her years. Like her emotional intelligence is terrifying.
The kid that people are like, wow, you're wise beyond your years, and you're like, fuck.
Like such
Okay.
a blessing, but like good grief, her therapy like savings plan should start yesterday, because it's so, and we have her in therapy, don't worry. She is incredible, but basically the first time that I left and came back, she looked at me and she was like, I can already tell how much happier you guys are when you return.
Yeah.
And that was big for me. And then the next time I came
We need a
back,
break.
she communicated to me that she wanted it to be longer. Instead of 3 days on, 3 days off, she wanted it to be for a week. She was like, I just feel like I have more time to like soak in with you. And I was like, okay, she's like really thinking about like what this looks like for her and the boys, and that's really special, but like I don't want her to stress. But I think my job is just a weird thing, you know? Like I took them to an RV park and I was like, we could live here this summer, like just for a couple weeks on the water. And Riley was like, we could be outside at your house and on video games at Dad's. Like it's so perfect. And I was like, that's us. Like that's it. They get it.
Yeah.
So we never had like breakdown crying. Riley has been very like, I'm so sick of people asking me how I'm doing. Like, can we just not talk about it? Other than that, like I think everybody gets it. Like I think
Yeah.
Tyler's family has been wonderful. They get it. I think everybody, once they saw it, they saw it. I just didn't let anybody see it for a second.
Yeah. I'm sick of people asking if you are,
Gonna kill myself.
or not even that, but like people are just like, is she okay? Like she doesn't seem okay. And like, I mean, it's this is so cliche, but like,
Yeah.
it's okay to not be okay. Like, you're
For
going
sure.
through grief, death, divorce, like so many things. But I think that you not handling divorce the way that people want you to
Is a trigger.
doesn't mean that you're doing it poorly.
Yeah,
I went through divorce. I booked a one-way ticket to Thailand and
I remember.
lost my fucking mind.
I would like to do that.
Luckily,
right
I didn't
now.
have any kids to like have responsibility for. But people were like, "Oh, like she's like spiraling." Am I, or am I just like?
No, I think that's been the hardest part for me is like, I know I am so good right now. Like in this season, I'm so freaking overwhelmed. Like between moving 3 houses in 3 different towns, that's crazy. What a blessing, but like what a nightmare. If you've ever moved anything, and then like moving and like not knowing where you're going. So like I'm just like moving into my car, but like I have
With Charlie
20,000 square feet of houses that I'm unloading right now. What was your question?
Do you appreciate people?
It wasn't a question. I'm just sick of people asking if you're okay. Just
do you
because you're not
appreciate
doing
that,
this way
though?
They think that you should.
No, I am so sick of people saying I'm so worried about you. How about I'm so proud of you? How about you're doing really, really hard things right now, and the light is at the end of the tunnel. We all see it. You're going to sell some houses, and then you're going to be fine. Once the houses are sold, you're going to be free. I feel like $1 million frickin' bucks in the season. And honestly, I feel like Tyler does as well. I feel like because we kept it private for so long and then just like became public with this information that's like a mic drop.
Yeah.
People are so stunned, and they're also grieving now. So Tyler and I grieved it forever ago. I was unwell last year. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to call my mom so bad. Silent, like struggling by myself. Nobody knew. My family didn't know. I barely knew. I was
And
like,
now you're on kind of the other side a little bit of that
I feel like
experience,
the
and people think they're manic.
Yes, I'm manic. I literally asked ChatGPT yesterday. I was with some friends, and I was like, everybody keeps saying I'm manic. Like, what does this behavior look like? And she was like, it means that you look confident and excited for life. And
People don't mean it like that.
I was like, wait,
People are not
is
calling me
this
manic, but
wrong?
yeah.
Because I fear I'm manic.
Wait.
For anybody listening, this is just how Kelsey's been her entire life.
I
really don't think that this is mania.
I had a friend yesterday message me as a friend's older sister, and she was like, you've been this way since you were 11. Are they okay?
Yeah.
Did Tyler have a lot of friends?
Yeah,
Do they like you?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
I think
that's such a great question.
I think I'm
because
a
they
loss.
were such a big part of your.
Yeah, like I think that they're gonna miss me. I think, Miles, I think in my head I'm like, I truly, genuinely, I don't think it's this season, but I think that at some point, like Tyler's gonna be really happy with somebody, and I'm probably gonna be really happy with somebody, and we're gonna be able to like hang out with his friends still, like we do. Like, you have to also understand, like, 2 of his friends one of them's married with 2 kids right now. I introduced them. One of them's getting married this year. I introduced them. Like, I was pivotal in these people's lives.
And you've been a part of their lives for 10 years.
And I love them wholeheartedly, just like I love Tyler. Like, I will always.
But are any of them upset with you for like?
I have
blowing
not
up your
spoken
life?
to any of them. So, yes, everybody is heartbroken. Like, people are so.
Heartbroken or mad?
Maybe both. And, I think I'm grateful Tyler gets it. Like, I have like a thank you text from Tyler after we like actually split up, and he was like, I really think I lost myself. Like, I think you're doing like what you're doing right now makes sense, and I'm so grateful for this. Like, thank you. He was like, I think we can do it well. Like, I don't want to be our parents.
I don't know Tyler, but he seems like the kind of person who would have been fine just going through the motions of every day, like you said, until you retire. And
I said Groundhog's Day is my nightmare.
yeah, he would have stayed in a. And not that you guys don't love each other, so this
Yeah.
is maybe a poor choice of words, but a loveless marriage for the sake of just like
Correct.
stability and routine.
Yes, and that's exactly what it was.
And then you wake up when you're 50 and you're like, what the fuck have I done?
And I think people also think that like I shifted into this like I'm in my love myself era, like fuck Tyler. No. I was in an era where I was like, poor Tyler, he deserves to be happy. And I am not making him happy. We were teaching each other how to love each other, and we were getting frustrated because we couldn't do it right. And I was like, you deserve this. Like, you deserve somebody to swoon over this life, and it's not me.
What did being loved look like to you? Sorry, Miles, I'll let you talk in a second. What did being loved look like to
What
you?
was
You
I
wanted
asking
him
for?
to be present in
I
the
like
things that you were
time
doing.
spent. Yes.
And he didn't want to go do those public things.
I want time spent. I want intentionality. I turned 30. I didn't have a birthday card. Like, I wanted the easiest, simplest things, and he was loving me in different ways. Yeah, like, I poured into humans, and I wanted to be poured into.
What going forward, if you've thought about it, what is your like type of man that you see yourself? Like, is he going to be do you
let's
want
talk
him to
about
be an
dating, Kelsey.
influencer, or do
No,
you?
I want him to be so private. I want nobody to know anything about him. I like, you know how like there's like Banksy, the artist, that like goes around Oh my God, that he like goes around and like
anonymity?
makes murals and then disappears and signs it as Banksy and nobody knows who Banksy is. That's what I would like.
But then what if that person doesn't want to be a part of this public life anymore and you run into the same
What
exact...
if they're not the right person, if they don't want to be a part of this public life?
But how are they
They
going to be a
can-
part of your public life if they're not?
Why
you're not showing them?
can't it be from their POV?
So you want them to be very private, come with you to these events, but just not be the star of the show.
Yeah, people can know who he is.
Okay.
I just don't want him to showcase his life.
Okay.
Oh.
Unless it's from his POV.
You want someone to go to the music festival with you, maybe take the content for you, and then have like a fantastic time at the hotel later.
I want somebody to exist with me in a way that feels authentic and feels good, and I don't feel like I have to try or make you guys believe that they're great.
And you felt that way with Tyler.
I think I had to prove that I was worthy of Tyler. I don't want to have to
also feel like that.
prove that I'm worthy for anybody.
Did you think you had to prove, or did you think you had to prove, or do you think the people thought you had to prove?
I think it was probably both. Like, I don't think I felt worthy of what Tyler was offering me for my life. And I think that's when I was like, financially, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make social media make money for me. And I'm going to make it so that I can be a breadwinner, so that if, God forbid, he leaves me because I'm not worth him, I can float and stay afloat. That's also something we should talk about, is like, I'm not fucking Tyler financially at all on our divorce.
Yeah.
And people think that I'm like taking him for all he's worth. I want nothing.
Oh yeah, people think you're a gold digger for sure, but people think you've been a gold digger since day one because you like trapped him with this baby and he had this. I mean, what was the Reddit comment that was like, he comes from this great family and okay, cool, like
From my outside,
you are a great person.
His parents have been married 3 times each too.
Yeah. Anyway, from your outside, I
didn't
want
think
your
that.
outside.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have much to say.
It's like one of those things that like it could have gone either way, right? Like I could have been probably. I went and saw a psychic. Right before I left my husband, and after therapy, don't worry. And she basically was like, "Your mom is telling you that if you stay where you are, you're gonna live a really great life. You'll notice some things that he does, but it'll never be anything big." And it had just been my 30th birthday. I didn't have any family, and I didn't even get a card. And it was like nobody remembered anything. And we had talked about me turning 30 for a decade, because I was an infant when I got pregnant. And so I woke up on my 30th birthday. After the past summer, we had determined like we might need to get a divorce with nothing. And then how do we get here?
I'm not sure, but I need to ask a question about not getting the card.
I'm scared.
When y'all were
Oh, I can make this so bad.
No, when you were already like talked about it, what was the vibes like from post talk about it? Because like you say you didn't get a car. Well, were y'all?
I had been told the week before. This isn't to shit on Tyler. This is just like how different we are. I had been told the week before that there was potential talks of us doing hibachi in our backyard with friends. Another friend had sent him our house cleaner's phone number to see if she could get the house cleaned, because I'd probably like that for my birthday. But instead, nothing happened because he was paralyzed in fear that I wouldn't like whatever he did. So he just didn't do anything. And that was kind of when I woke up and I was like, I would like to be loved differently, I fear.
Sorry, Tyler, but I want to ask this question.
I understand your question a little bit. Like, oh, if you guys have brought up the topic of getting divorced and then your birthday rolls around, why did you expect some grand gesture?
Well, I just didn't know where y'all were at that
Sure,
point.
but
We were
even if
sleeping
you-
in the same bed.
But okay, and even if you have I still like, you have 10 years together with someone. Like, there's love regardless of the romantic or the breakup or whatever. Like, give me a fucking card. Firefight of the Year and I are not on good terms. This is not going to air in time, but like for Mother's Day, like I expect a card. You can hate me.
I hate
but
cards.
Here's the
mother
thing.
of your
Here's
house.
the thing.
All right, then I expect a hug.
Here's the
like
thing.
I don't know.
I remember when Tyler and I first got together, I'd just gotten pregnant, and I walked into our apartment, and he had put a brand new digital camera from Target with a card in the bassinet. And I remember being like, this man is so kind, so wonderful, so amazing, thoughtful. Like, he's really selfless. This is awesome. That was the last time that ever happened. And I've held on to that for 10 years.
Did he think that?
Goosebumps.
Okay, never mind. So he never did anything like that since.
No, because I was the magic.
Oh, so he
He was
courted
the
you pretty
stable.
well.
Yeah, for sure. I had flour on my nose and an apron on for a long time.
Okay, you said, and again, I feel like you will, and sorry, Tyler, but I don't want to air out his parents, but like,
No, they're great.
But when you said he said, you don't want to be your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was his parents like?
So what's funny is his parents were actually divorced and best friends when I met them. So they were on their third marriages and rekindled a friendship in their third marriage, which was really, really cool for us as kids because, like, we would have birthday parties or baby showers and they would all come and get along, and it was so fun. But his childhood was dysfunctional and chaotic, and his dad had custody of him, and it was hard and heavy, but his childhood was really great. Like, he didn't have a traumatic childhood.
What was his like point of saying I don't want to be like our parents? Like, what was
I think it was the fighting back and forth post divorce. The messiness that was brought into the kids' lives that never needed to be in the kids' lives.
Y'all think that really matters?
I don't think Tyler and I are triggered by each other. I think that's interesting too. Like, we hung out once and got pregnant, like there's never been anything that like has been unfaithful or weird. We literally just did life together.
But do you think it's a problem, like, seeing your parents argue like that?
No, I think that's really healthy, actually. I think the problem is that when they argue like that post-divorce and they're throwing the kid at you as the argument and the kid is witnessing it, it's really messy. So the child feels guilty, and the guilt is held on to for much longer than you think it's held on to, and that shit sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's very healthy to see your parents
I think everybody
argue
wants
and make up. It's when you're seeing your parents have conflict without a healthy resolution that it's like,
know.
that's
no,
not
listen,
good.
I think you are holding on to the we don't want to be like our parents, when the reality is I think all of us want to be a little better than our parents.
No, for sure. No, I was just
And I hope my
curious.
kids are better
Like,
than me.
I mean, you
Same.
told you. I wanted to know like why he was the way he was. That's what I've been thinking about this whole time.
My 9-year-old looks at me all the time, and she has said this for so long, and I hate it. And she'll be like, "Don't compare your childhood to my childhood. Like, your trauma is not comparable to my trauma," and that is so true.
Do you think there's such thing as oversharing to your kids?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think you do that?
No,
Okay.
I think my kids have experienced more life than they should have had to experience. My boys really, honestly, like, I don't know what they do. They just kind of like rock 'em, sock 'em, bop 'em. But like Riley is like, I mean, like, she can give you like a full litigation. We walked into a hospital last week, and she was like, "This is my emotional support animal, and I'm allowed to bring it in here. And if anybody has any questions, you can ask." And I was like,
She does seem very old soul, and I hate that, but
I hate it too so much. Like, she is definitely a Capricorn and an old soul.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes, you can overshare with your kids. And I think I've definitely had to have boundaries, especially with my dad. I don't want them to know that I don't like my dad.
oversharing though, your kids have just experienced it. There's really
Yes.
you couldn't keep
I am
them
like
from
mending
death
heartbreak
and,
for them.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. We've only been on here for 700 hours.
What time is it? 12:51.
Yeah.
Well, we started. It's pushing 2 hours.
That's pretty good.
I
that's not
still
too
have
bad.
so many things to talk about. So can you come back for an
I'm
episode
begging.
too?
I'm launching a clothing brand next week. Reddit's having a time with that.
What is it called? Because it'll be after you launch it. If you want to. You have a clothing brand, and what's it called?
Yeah, it's going to be called Everything's Pretty Butterface. Our designer was the designer for the Richmond Ballet when I was a kid growing up, which is really, really cool. She happens to be my brother's godmother. She shaved her head when my mom first got diagnosed with my mom. She is the designer for Tyler Perry Studios, which is really cool. She does, I don't know if you've heard of the new Sinners movie.
Mm-mm.
You don't know what Sinners is?
I'm not a TV
Michael
guy.
B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld. This is big, you guys. And she's at the Met Gala right now doing designs for them. Really, really cool. Really, really special. She'll be launching stuff with us soon.
What's behind it? Like, what's the name?
Everything's Pretty Butterface. Is my grandma used to call me Butterface because all my cousins called me Butterface because everything's pretty Butterface, and my grandma thought it was funny and called me Butter, and I held on to that as resentment because she thought it was cute and I thought it was a nightmare. And my favorite color is yellow, and this is the year of butter. I don't know if you've seen, but now you will. It's everywhere.
What do you mean it's the year of butter?
You just wait. Pay attention to your algorithms. Everything is butter. KitchenAid's color of the year is butter.
Oh, okay.
Target has a butter stick pillow right now. Everything's butter.
Nice. So it's okay.
It's
I like
going to be
it.
sick. Sweet,
That's awesome.
street, swim, and sleepwear.
Okay, what's streetwear to you?
What's streetwear to you?
I would argue
I would like-
African American culture.
What?
Yeah,
What'd you say?
African American culture.
Okay, I value that.
Streetwear.
Yeah. I would, our like biggest premise is that we're not making bathing suits for the average white woman. It's not my mission. And
What's the average white woman? Sorry.
Me.
What are you? What do you mean?
5'4", pushing 135 pounds, string bean. I don't have any curves. I would like to be able to cater to every single size and every single shape.
Okay.
That's important to me. And sustainability is going to be really important to us. And local artisans is going to be really cool. So we'll have artists that are making our fabric prints each season, and we'll launch them as capsule collections.
Nice.
It's going to be really sick.
That's fire. No, that's awesome. Are you doing it by yourself?
I'm by myself this time. This is the first time I've ever done business by myself.
Oh, really?
I've always had somebody in charge.
Yeah.
Every LLC I've owned has been through somebody else. I own a nonprofit right now, and I'm not even the CEO.
Oh, wow.
So.
Yeah, that's awesome. I used to have a clothing brand. I just stopped it, honestly.
Well, let me know if you want to get creative. We could do a Miles collab. So
maybe
fun.
with the
It's
coffee.
Sick. Have you ever seen Black Panther? No, of course not. You're not a movie guy.
No.
She did all those costumes too. She's sick.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm excited to see it. Well, so wait, you didn't answer my question though. What's streetwear? Like what? Like okay, give me an idea.
So you said streetwear is like African culture, and I
African
understand.
American culture, not African.
African American culture. I get that. What language are we speaking? Swahili.
No, African American is black people that live in America.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like
Streetwear African American.
post slavery, you know.
Yeah, I like that. Do you
Urban.
see like a matching set
What do you mean?
when you think of African American streetwear,
Yeah, they wear a lot of sweatsuits, matching.
or like button up?
No.
What are you thinking? Tell me more. I want to hear what your
Graphic
vision is.
tees, right now.
Oh, you're just talking about like the trend that the African Americans wear is streetwear.
Yeah.
Okay, but like I
Street-
can wear streetwear as a white woman. That might also be something that an African American person in America would.
No,
wear.
I'm just saying, like, when I think of streetwear, I'm just saying what I think of it. I'm
Yeah.
not saying this is the correct.
Oh, okay. You're not giving me a definition. Okay.
Yeah, like, when I think of streetwear, I
Yeah.
think of, graphic tees,
Okay.
like puff.
I think
branding.
risque. I think something that you would wear that you wouldn't wear to a 9-to-5, but you would wear out on the streets is what I envision. So like you're not going to wear it to corporate America,
Okay.
but it's going to be something you can dress up and take out.
Nice. So, like, okay, like, all right. No, I was genuinely, I wasn't like,
That's
like
a great
being
question.
funny.
We should
I was-
ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, I was just asking what your version of because my version of streetwear isn't necessarily.
Would
like
you
the
wear streetwear?
risque clothing?
Sure.
Not too much.
What if it was risque in the sense of the design or the pattern?
Potentially, but risque and how?
What if it said fuck?
No.
Okay.
But Ken Lee can vouch. I'm kind of a slightly a prude. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow, I love that. I wore a purity ring, remember?
No, I mean when I say a prude, I'm just very like. Obviously, I'm sitting here with a podcast with sunglasses on, right? But like, I like wearing oversized. Like, I don't like wearing fitted clothes to show off my muscles, if you will.
Nipples.
Yeah, like I don't like tanks in public because I don't want. This is very arrogant, but I don't want the attention. So
That's
like,
not arrogant. I think that's
something like
awareness.
that, yeah.
You
So
can be
something
aware
like
without
that.
being arrogant.
But that's awesome. Is it gonna have bad words on it?
I don't know. I think I'm just going to have local artists that create the patterns each year. So basically what happens is next week we will meet her here in Richmond. She will give us our first samples. There's dozens of them. I will choose which samples I love, and then I will go wear them in salt water, and I
Yeah.
will go wear them in chlorine, and I will go wear them and wash them. And hopefully by July 4th, we will launch to you guys with
That's awesome.
the patterns.
Are you gonna be having like do these designers, do they have their own models, or like what kind of, are they just graphic designers, or are they like to do pieces?
Yeah, so everything we're doing is marketing and branding will be huge for us. Aloe Yoga does a really good job with this, but basically the product is what we're selling, but we're selling community, which is special for a brand. So we will do, think like we're going to be going to Ironclad in Churchill for a DJ at 8 o'clock in the morning and selling pop-up bathing suits. But the whole thing will be oxymoron themed. So like I want to have ballet dancers out there in bathing suits doing some sort of something.
Yeah.
It's going to be sick.
No, that's awesome. Clothing, sweet. I love clothing brands. I don't. It's a headache.
It's a headache.
It's not a headache, okay? Like
It is a
and
headache.
I don't want to speak. No, it's awesome and it's very beautiful, and you are very headstrong to see. I feel like you are going to crush it. Like it sounds like you've crushed everything else, and
We'll see.
I'm excited to see it.
I
That's
can't wait.
awesome.
We'll
I'm
see.
hyped.
I'll put you in some. Don't
So
worry.
is it menswear? I got.
Yeah, we got men's and kids. Watch out.
I need to cop some.
It's gonna be fun. I'm telling you. I'll bring you PR. Don't worry.
All right, deal. All right, well, Kenley, are you coming back on the pod?
Can you bring the baby?
I mean, because I don't know. I honestly would like on the second pod, if you do come back, I would like to have just casual, because honestly, like my thing is like I was very backseat because I'm learning you, and it's not on my place to you weren't voicing strong opinions, right? Like that's where I like do my part. That's why I have the sunglasses on when you voice strong opinions, and who you are as a person and your upbringing is completely like you said. Like I could say maybe like some very strong opinions on how I feel about how you handle things, but that's not what you wanted. That's not what we're here for. And so I was very backseat. And hearing your story is interesting and cool. And I would love to talk to you about things where maybe we could, argue about.
I would love that so much.
Like,
uncomfortable conversations is like my thing. Like I don't want to have a surface level. I want you to ask me the nitty gritty, because I like in real life too.
Yeah,
I want to get to know you. I want to get to know like, do I like this energy? Do I want to be around you? I have no idea.
No, I mean, I'm the same way. And again, like it's hard because again, like I'm that person that is going to say the things, but when I'm sitting there, like you're telling your life story, I know from hearing you, you're very open and okay with, but it's not right. Or if there were criticism, to be like, well, you did that wrong and that's not really a thing. And what but no, that was awesome. And I think Kenley might come back eventually. Just put a blanket over her head like Michael Jackson or something, and just like.
Oh, I forget her face.
Yeah. Do you need a blanket? You have one? No. I mean, we need you to end this out.
Oh my God, she's so perfect.
Honestly, what do you have to do for the rest of the day?
What do you need me to do?
I might cut this, but are we doing an internal after this, or is it too late?
No, we can't do an internal.
Dang.
What's internal?
Like just where it's just like vibing. I feel like
I need to wrap this up. She can't be in the frame. Part 2 will be more of you guys getting into like opinion-based Kelsey, like deep personality. This was good like context and like
Miles doesn't know who I am.
Information.
I know who you are.
I think that for the most part, this is a portion of your life where people just want to know like the tea. So I think that was really good. And then next time we'll get into like why.
Yeah.
Or just like I kind of just want to have a
why.
Conversation with you, like on some just like
have
general
to go hold
topics.
my baby off frame.
Yeah, go off frame that.
I'm grateful
baby.
for you, Kenley. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And for hosting me way back when I was also homeless.
That is insane.
Forever grateful.
All right, so we're wrapping this up. Thank you, Kelsey,
No, thank you.
For joining us, and it was awesome. And I'm sure that the people will love to hear this tea.
This is a trauma dump. We just trauma bonded.
Yeah, I'm kind of stressed out. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, y'all have a good one. We'll catch you next episode. Do all the good stuff. Bye. Thanks again, Kelsey. Bye, Kenley. She left.
See ya.
Bye. Ow.
Wait, can you stay seated?
You'll have-
headphones back on. I need to take
You'll have content for a year.
My brain hurts. Respectfully, my brain hurts.